All right, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Illinois Primary Day, my primary day. Welcome to the live broadcast. We don't just have the Illinois primaries, but those are the primaries that we're going to focus on. I'm going to talk about those districts in a few minutes, but we do have another election that is an interesting one to watch that is in Virginia in the House of Delegates. It is a general election. Well, it's a special election, but a general special election. And it is a district that is very close. And we are starting to get some votes actually coming in. Now, you can see the Republicans winning it quite handily, and this is the 98th district. But you can see last time the Republican Barry Knight, I think he might have passed away. I'm not sure if he was appointed or passed away. Yeah, he passed away. So he passed away. The seat is open. You can see he only won at 56 to 43. So the swings that we've been seeing lately, this is possibly a pickup for the Democrats. I do not see, it says one of one reporting. Now, this is from the state of Virginia's own, the state of Virginia, but it's saying one of one. I think they just mean one county. Okay, so there's Virginia. Oh, okay, here we go. Virginia Beach, 8 of 21 precincts. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this, see how that works, how that goes. I want to put it on here, so I'm going to be again using the Decision HQ vote terminal that they have here, which is amazing. I know I've knocked them for a lot, but they're doing pretty good with this. But last time I saw, they didn't have this race up. They only have the one from 2025. Okay, so we're going to have to look at the state's results here. Now, VoteHub does have an interesting map here, a precinct level map that we'll go over in a few. For the 9th congressional district, we'll talk about that in a few. I want to go through this, apparently because I can't pronounce the name of Kat Abugazela or whatever her name is. I somehow do not know the district, even though I was born, raised in this district. I was technically born in Waukegan here. I do find it ironic that because I can't pronounce a name, that somehow somebody from California knows the district more than I do. Anyway, we'll go ahead and look at these precincts. We'll get into that in a few, but sign in. I'm going to start shortly because I do not know why it knocked me out, and I'm not going to show you my account and everything. So, okay, here we are. We're back. Don't know why. I don't know why it signed me out, but it signed me out nonetheless. They are going to have a pro version of it. It's not available yet, but we can start looking at the pro version. So let's go over, the districts that we have, or the ones that I'm going to be watching today. So obviously we're going to be watching the U.S. Senate race. Now, I'm not necessarily watching the Republican primary for the U.S. Senate to see what those results are. I think Don Tracy is going to win, but he used to be the Republican Party chair of Illinois and stuff like that. I don't think he still is, but he used to be. I'm just doing this to see how many votes are cast on the Republican side. So that's the only thing I'm looking at. And before we get into it, I think I might be coming down with a cold or something. I have some congestion. So if you hear me constantly going, making all this noise, I'm sorry ahead of time. I'm just very much sorry ahead of time. So I'm only looking at this to see what the Republican numbers are. Okay. Now, of course, we have the Democratic side. There are a lot of candidates here, but the three is Raja Krishnamurthy, who I think right now, if we're going to say there is a favorite, an extremely slight favorite, it's going to be him, Juliana Stratton, the lieutenant governor, and Robin Kelly, the congresswoman from the is she the first congressional district, or was, she still is the first congressional district. These are going to be the three that are the ones to watch. This is Sherry Bustos's, I don't think it's daughter, maybe daughter-in-law or whatever, but you see the name Bustos, she's related to Sherry Bustos. Okay, so she's going to be from in and around Peoria. Then we got a lot of um, other candidates here. So this is the primary. What I think is going to be really interesting to watch in the Senate Democratic primary is if in the last few days, Robin Kelly has really shown to be that third place. And I think the big question will be, and we'll see it coming out of Cook County, are voters going to stick with Robin Kelly, that 13-14% that seem to be with her right now, or are they going to go ahead and move over to Juliana Stratton and, as far as the liberal vote is concerned and the more progressive votes? And it's funny because somebody in the chat today said that Juliana Stratton was not a progressive, yet she supports a $25 minimum wage, Medicare for all, and getting corporate money out of PACs. I'm like, what do you consider a progressive? Stalin, right? So it'll be interesting if you see that vote gravitate in that direction. We'll see if that happens. I'm going to just go over to Virginia really quick. Now we don't have much going on there. Well, actually we do, and it looks like the Republican, that's going to be a Republican swing, it looks like, possibly, or dead even. We'll get back to that in a few. So that's U.S. Senate race. All of the main candidates, the top three, are from Cook County. Schaumburg is in Cook County. It's close to DuPage County, but yeah, let's go ahead. And we got the second House district. Jesse Jackson Jr. is expected to win this. He used to be in Congress before. Now he's going to be trying to get back into Congress here. So yeah, actually it would have been the second that Kelly is from, not the first, because this is the election to fill her seat. Many people expect Jesse Jackson Jr. to win this. Interestingly, and this might actually impact the Senate race, Juliana Stratton said that before Jesse Jackson died, that Jesse Jackson Sr. supported her campaign. And then one of Jesse Jackson's sons today or yesterday said, no, he didn't make any plans. So that was a screw up on her campaign's part. We'll see if that has any impact on what happens. Then we have House District 7, which will go Democratic. LaShawn Ford is expected, from what I've heard, is expected to be possibly the leader in this, but obviously Polymarket has somebody else. So we'll see what happens in that race. Then we'll get to the 8th Congressional District. And this is one, now the 8th and the 9th are congressional districts I was raised in. I know them well. And one thing you can say about the northwest suburbs of Chicago is over the last 40 years, well, for me, 50 years, right? They haven't changed. Okay, they really haven't changed much. There hasn't been some change as far as more Hispanic voters in some areas, but for all intents and purposes, there haven't been too many changes. I also have the hot tea here to deal with the sickness. So we have a number of candidates. We'll see who wins. Melissa Bean used to be a member of Congress, more centrist member of Congress. She ended up, if you're wondering, she ended up losing to Joe Walsh. Now, I haven't seen if Walsh has endorsed Bean in this race or not, but this is Joe Walsh is the one who beat Melissa Bean. So it'll be interesting to see if she gets back into Congress. Junaid Ahmed is the progressive Bernie Sanders supporter. And when we talk about the progressives today, I think and I'm not talking about the U.S. Senate. I'm talking about the progressives in the congressional race. One of the things that we need to really pay attention to and see what happens is because I don't think it's going to be, is Gaza, Iran as big of an issue as people think? If a lot of these progressives who are running purely it almost seems like a one-issue campaign, really focusing on Gaza, I don't think it breaks through in this area as many people think. Okay. Most people probably in this district, again, I'm from there. These are my people. This is where my family lives. This is where my family's from. When they think about the Iran the conflict going on in Iran, they think of it more as far as gas prices than the actual conflict itself. And I tell people, I always have to remind people that a lot of Democratic voters don't watch MS Now or MSNBC back in the day. Less of them watch progressive YouTube. So I think there is a bias on a few of these that cause a problem. Oh God, I have more bugs in here. We the last few days have been horrible. It was up to 78 degrees. Now it's down to like 28, and like in 3 days from now, it's going to be 81. It's insane. So we'll see what happens here. So Neil Coate, he is more of a centrist as well. Probably going to have more of a centrist coming out of this district. So we have, and we'll go into this district in a few, but we have the 9th Congressional District. Abogazala is the progressive, not from the district, but lives in the district now. I do think that's going to have an impact. We'll see. There are a lot of people in this race. And with so many people in this race, I think any one of these top three, Laura Fine, Daniel Biss, or Katabugazelo, could, any of them could win. Okay. So we'll see what happens there. Now, I'm going to Illinois. This one might not be on your radar. I'm going to the 15th Congressional District, the Republican primary, because we have Mary Miller here. And I don't know if you ever seen Mary Miller, but she's pretty much she's pretty damn MAGA. Okay. My Congressman, Mike Bost, is really damn MAGA, but Mary Miller is very, very MAGA. But she has two opponents in the Republican primary, and I found this interesting. We'll talk about them. Ryan Tabruge and Judy Bowlby, Bowlby, I guess it is. Okay. Now I want to show you both of their websites. Okay. So here's the Ryan Tabruge website here. So he's a Republican. Remember, both of these are going to be Republican. First thing he has up here, supporting and growing our trades and unions. Okay, that does not sound very Republican. And this is one thing Democrats need to worry about. If you focus too much on identity politics in Gaza, Republicans are going to come in and steal these voters. It's not a good thing. Now, of course, he does have protect Second Amendment rights and all that. But then if you come down here, he does sound a little bit more middle of the road Democrat. He does not sound like a Republican. Strengthen animal rights and protections, addressing issues of animal abuse and neglect. That sounds like something a PETA member would have, right? Promoting sustainable agriculture while encouraging strong resource protections. Championing environmental sustainability through permitting reforms while eliminating unnecessary red tape. A lot of what he says sounds, there are conservative parts, but sound very progressive as well. But if you were to read this and I didn't show you that they were a Republican already, you could possibly say this is a suburban Democrat in some cases. He does not mention Trump at all. Okay. And he talks about, people over politics, no slogan, so on and so forth. Now let's go over to Judy Bowlby's page, and there's not as much here. She talks about housing and affordable housing. She talks about healthcare. She doesn't say she supports the ACA, but she doesn't say she opposes it either. That's very important. But the fact that a Republican actually acknowledges that there is a healthcare issue, is pretty interesting. She talks about community, but then I thought in the rest of it, she doesn't have really much else. But then she says this: we are Americans first. Stop the rhetoric which divides this country and work on meaningful, permanent solutions and policies to improve our lives, or improve lives of the people of the 15th district. We much support our veterans, blah, blah, blah. Keep it the United States of America. That's a shot at Donald Trump and Mary Miller, because Mary Miller is just like Trump, 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 Trump. So I am interested to see how this primary goes. I assume Mary Miller is going to win it, but it'll be interesting to see how much she wins it by. All right, let's go down to some of the others. So we have the Illinois comptroller. I'm just watching this personally. I voted for Holly Kim. A lot of progressives I know voted for her. We'll see if that happens. I assumed that she was going to win the elections. I mean, like almost every person that I know who's voting is voting for her. She's from Lake County. Now, let's go into some state house seats. So now we're moving over to Pennsylvania. So there's two very Republican state house seats we're going to look at, and it's state house seat 79, which is in this central part, as James Carville called it, the Alabama part of Pennsylvania, because he says you have Pittsburgh, you have Philadelphia, then you have Alabama in the middle, right? Then you have this one, it's still very Republican, and it's in and around Harrisburg, but it does not include Harrisburg. Okay, so it's going to be much more conservative. We'll see how those go. The Democrats can get into, I think, what is like 30%, right? If they can get into the 30s or maybe even into the 40s, that's going to be a good sign for the Democrats. Let's go back to that race that we have here, Virginia Beach. Okay, is that our final vote count? If it is, that's not a good sign for Democrats. So we can see the Republican Barry Knight won 56% last time, and in this election, Andrew Rice is winning 64.75. So that is a huge swing to the Republicans. And I will say, and this is one thing that we need to be aware of, it does seem like the 2026 swings that we're seeing in the special elections are not as strong as they were in 2025. In 2025, we saw some really strong swings. Doesn't seem like we're seeing those swings this time. Okay, and then these are kind of personal ones because I live down here. Illinois State House District 118. Now, this guy's name's Scott Duty. I love Duty. Anyway, so we have him. You have this Harold Visser, who's a right-wing Republican. His signs are everywhere. Dayton Lloyd, I haven't seen much of his stuff. I do not live in this district, but it is the next county down, Williamson County, Jackson County, and so on. So this is a district that, if it wanted to one day, could become Democratic because it does have Jackson County in it, as well as Alexander, but Cairo is not as, it's still Democratic, but the population's like 3 now. But you do have Carbondale and stuff but that's kind of offset by Marion, Carterville, Anna and other. And Jonesboro, is it down there? But yeah, so I'm watching this one. This one is my state house district. Now, I didn't vote in this primary because it's a Republican primary. I voted in the Democratic primary. So Dave Severin is kind of the less, he's right wing, but he's controllable, right? Angela Evans is a right wing nut job. I mean, like a real right-wing nut job. So it'll be interesting to see how she does. And then the state Senate district here. Paul Jacobs against Stephen, I forget how to pronounce his name, Versalino. So I know he's from Franklin County. He's from like Cesar or Christopher or something like that. He's up and down Highway 148. Paul Jacobs, I'm pretty sure, is probably down from the Williamson County, in and around Marion, Heron, stuff like that. So those are the races that we're going to watch. Let's go ahead and go to the 9th Congressional District and delve into that. I do have a super chat. Let me go and answer that super chat really good. Any sense of turnout primary versus, say, 2022, 2024? I don't know yet. Maybe they'll have that in here. Down here, and I think through most of the state, there won't be much of a difference. There could be, because you have a competitive Senate primary. You have competitive congressional primaries. This is the most competitive Democratic year that we've had in a while. Okay. Interestingly, it's the governor's race that's not competitive. All right. So thank you for your super chat. Tropical, can't see the whole name on there, but Tropical Din. It shows Din, then ... Thank you very much for the super chat. Now, let's go ahead and look at the ninth congressional district when we're going to start from west to east, because this is where I'm from. Like I'm literally from, like, I did middle school, all my middle school and part of my elementary school in Algonquin. Okay, so this, even though I lived technically on the other side, which is Kane County, we do have Algonquin here. It's going to be more of a 50-50 area. It goes all the way out to, I guess this would be Randall Road. Yeah, this will be Randall Road, Jacobs High School, and stuff like that. The district goes up into Crystal Lake, where you do have more Hispanic voters there. You also have more Hispanic voters here in Carpentersville, but that's going to be in the 8th congressional district. As a matter of fact, the 8th congressional district will have more Hispanic voters in West Dundee, Carpentersville, parts of Elgin. Whereas you get into Schaumburg, it's kind of a mix of everything in Schaumburg. This is where Krishnamurthy is from, because there's a Motorola office there. It might have closed, but along the Jane Addams, you'll see a big Motorola building. That's been there forever, and many people who eventually became Indian Americans came here starting in the 1970s. But let's get back to the 9th congressional district. So you have Cary, very much a white, right-leaning area, so they probably won't be voting in this primary. They could be voting in this primary as well. So remember, we have an open primary here, right? You can just, I mean, it's like they consider it a semi-open primary. You go in, you can pick what ballot you want. Now you get into some way more conservative areas. So you get up here, this is probably where Island Lake is. Yep, Island Lake and Wakanda. I have family from both of these areas. So again, if you have Republicans or moderates voting in this congressional district, they're going to vote for Daniel Biss. They're going to vote for Laura Fine. I don't think Ebba Gazela is going to have many votes out in this area, though I could be wrong. Then all of a sudden it just snakes through Buffalo Grove and all that. There isn't much here. It hits part of Lake Zurich. Does it get into Mundelein? No, but it might get into Ivanhoe in and around here. I'm not sure. It might get into Ivanhoe here. But then all this does is there's not many voters here, even though Buffalo Grove and Prospect Heights are decent sized places. It's just to connect it. Here's Glenview Air Base right here. Or no. Is that Glenview or is that? Yeah, that's Chicago Executive Airport, which is now considered Glenview. Even Glenview's all the way over here. Then we get into the bigger part of the district. Now, this is the Cook County part of the district. The other places we're looking at were McHenry County and Lake County. This is where we get much, much stronger as far as Democrats. Morton Grove, Northfield, you're going to have a little bit more money, well, a lot more money up in Northfield and Wilmette. So these are going to be kind of your rich Democrats. I see those as Daniel Biss voters. They voted for him in the state Senate. The voters of Evanston voted for him as their mayor. Now, another thing about, and I mentioned this in my video, another thing important about when we look at this part here, Skokie. Skokie is a very Jewish heavy part of the district. And so I'm assuming that Daniel Biss and Laura Fine are going to be the top candidates coming out of Skokie. If somehow they're not, then it's going to be a really wild race today. Ebba Gazela's support, I do believe, is going to come in right around here, which is right around where Loyola University is. And you start getting into the northern part of the Gold Coast here. I don't know if there's going to be enough there. I think this is where her strong area is going to be. The question is can she cut into Evanston, where Daniel Biss is the mayor? Can she cut into that area? I don't know if she can. Okay, so this is something that we're going to keep an eye on. I don't know if she can. If she can, that's interesting because he's the mayor, obviously, but you might have a lot of students voting there. But then the question is, are those students registered in Evanston? And remember, that's Northwest University, so it's not a state college. So you're going to have a lot of people there who are from out of state and international. So the student population isn't going to matter as much. And so that is the 9th. You know, I know both of these districts. I know the 9th and I know the 8th really well. We'll go ahead and get down into the 8th really quick. So like I said, the heart of it is Schaumburg here. In the Cook County part, the heart of it, Schaumburg, it comes out to Des Plaines with some population, but where your biggest population is going to be Schaumburg, Streamwood, areas like this, large Indian American population, and a large mixed population of all incomes, all races, all, but still more of a left to center left grouping. When we get down into DuPage County, you have more, again, a little bit of a mix, maybe a few more Hispanic voters. Then when you get over into Kane County, you're going to have the southern part of Carpentersville. The northern part of Carpentersville is in Cook County, where the, I guess, downtown part of Carpentersville is. That's going to be still in the 9th. The lower part of Carpentersville is going to be in the 8th. And then when you go down, down 25 towards Carpentersville or down 31, you're going to hit Elgin, but it doesn't include all of Elgin, I don't think. So the Elgin part will be very highly Hispanic. So yeah, these are areas that I know. And with that being the case, we are, let's see, I mean, I think this one might be over. In Virginia, says 21 to 21. And if that's the case, that is a good 8% swing toward the Republicans. That becomes a huge Republican swing. We'll see if that is the final. I assume it is. And it's in a place where Democrats, the problem here is that it's in a place where if Democrats want to, well, let's see. Okay. Election day partially reported, early voting partially reported. Okay, so we still have more coming in from there. But if you're the Democrats, this is the type of district that you need to win in order to push forward. I'm a little bit worried about the 2026 swings compared to the 2025. All right, now we are in election mode. So the polls have closed here in the state of Illinois. My vote is being counted right now, and we will go to the U.S. Senate race to start off with. We'll see if anyone has a big dump right off the bat. And I mean a vote dump. Get your mind out of the gutter. I also prepared myself by filling my coffee thing with a bunch of water today just to be prepared for that. So yeah, now we wait. I assume, I mean, and I will say in all of these primaries, every one of them that we have today, it's going to be a crapshoot. It really is. I just had a big dump. Haha. I think it really is flip a coin, or roll the dice because you got so many candidates. Roll the dice like you have in Dungeons and Dragons, and it could be correct. But we're going to know a lot more. And the 9th Congressional District is going to tell us a lot about, it's going to tell us a lot about Illinois. The one thing with the Democratic Party in Illinois is it's a very closed, you can get involved with it. It's a very closed party. I'm not involved. I'm not involved with the Democratic Party here in Illinois because I live in Southern Illinois and I hate Southern Illinois. And I might be leaving the country eventually anyway. But with that being said, it's kind of a very closed system. And a lot of things, I don't want to say they're necessarily rigged, but it is hard for somebody who is non-establishment to break through. Now, one thing I do like in Illinois is that a lot of the establishment is progressive many times as well. So I am happy with that. As far as I heard with turnout, let me go. I was looking at the New York Times here. They were saying turnout in Chicago was a little bit, a tad bit higher, which I figured it would be a lot higher. Okay. 339,427 ballots that have been cast in Chicago as of 6 p.m. Eastern, according to the City Board of Election, was almost as high as Chicago's total turnout in the 2024 Democratic primary. I'm trying to think, what did we have? Now, by the way, just so you know, the presidential race was still on there. You had Joe Biden and you had write-in. I'm one of the only people that I know that voted for Bernie Sanders 3 times. I wrote in Bernie Sanders in the 2024 Democratic primary. And maybe you guys can look it up. I don't know if there were any competitive statewide primaries at that point. Yeah, it's rare for a single state to have 4 open primaries and solidly Democratic seats. Yeah, it is. All right. So Illinois is usually slow. Let's just put it that way. It sucks, but it's true. And I'm putting it here because let's go over this really quick. Now, eventually I'm going to do a live stream. Tonight's live stream's a little bit slow. I think maybe because it's not a high profile primary today. Maybe more people will start coming in a little bit later on. But I do, as much as I knock Decision Desk, I do like what they have done here. And if I'm able to get like 100 Patreons on this channel, Patreon members, which, the link is right here. I'm thinking about buying the pro version of this, but I don't know what's included in the pro version. They don't have it yet because it's still in beta, but you can see things like early voting. So if we look at early voting here, we can see 233,000 Democrats, and I think it's like 80,000 Republicans. 80,000 Republicans in early voting. So not much. The New York Times is on it already. Come on, Decision Desk. Oh, is that that's not St. Clair County, is it? Yeah, it is St. Clair County. St. Clair County. Let me see. So my guess is most of that is going. Okay, so this is where East St. Louis and all that is. This is usually a Democratic county. Let's go back over to. Don't log me out. I know they're in beta still, but don't log me out. Okay, so they still don't have anything. So we do. The ones you see here, it's like there's no competition. So all we have is St. Clair County. St. Clair County is where Shiloh, Fairview Heights, East St. Louis, all that area is Bellevue, okay, or Belleville, excuse me. Belleville, where the Mid-America Airport is. That's where that is. It's a Democratic area, but that's a higher number for Krishnamurthy out of there than I expected. I think with this first county, Krishnamurthy looks to be in a good position. We'll see what happens throughout the state, because there is a larger African-American population in East St. Louis going towards Belleville. As a matter of fact, back in the 1980s or actually the early 1990s, there was like some racial tension there. You can find a 60 Minutes about it. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So now they have it here. So two things. One, it does seem like some of that Kelly vote is going over to is moving over to Stratton, but maybe Stratton's votes are not high enough. There might be a bug that I have to kill in here later on, just so you know. Okay. All right, now we wait again. I hate waiting. That's obviously, I mean, 2000, I mean 6,268. That's an early vote dump. So we should have others with early vote dumps here. Two. Let's see. One update came in. Here are a few key counties to watch. Blah blah blah. Okay. Um, I don't know why you got Bloomington as a quote unquote. Oh, because Illinois State's there, so that's why they're saying, University of Western Illinois, Illinois State, Champaign. Well, if you got up by Peoria, why don't you have Coles County where Eastern is? Why don't you have SIU where Jackson County either? Because Jackson County will be another big county. Now, Jackson, if there's going to be any place that's going to be a big county with a lot of students in it, it's going to be Jackson County. I mean, of course, with Champaign County as well. Also, it's also going to be in DeKalb as well. It's in Illinois. It's DeKalb. It's not DeKalb like it is in Georgia. It's DeKalb. We pronounce the L here. Will Iran impact the midterms against Republicans? Only if prices of things go up tremendous. To me, only if prices go up of things tremendously. I don't think it has an impact any other way. I know that it's unpopular, but it's the economy, stupid. All right, let's see the comptroller's race because that is another. Come on, there we go. Wow, that is very close. Let's see how that works out. Okay, one update. Okay, they're just repeating the same thing over and over again. Here we go. I think that's McLean. Stratton up there. I mean, very, very slightly. So this is a university county, this is where Illinois State University is. This is Bloomington. This is going to be, if you're Stratton, that's a pretty good result. If she's winning central Illinois counties, now, okay, let's get something straight here. Let's go to the bigger map. We got a bigger map here. Let's get something straight here. And this is, I'm from Chicago. I'm from the Chicagoland area. I'm not from Chicago, from the Chicagoland area. Just because I happen to live a few miles outside of Chicago, that somehow in the eyes of people from Chicago makes me not from Chicago. But let's be honest. Everyone says downstate Illinois. They're like, you have Cook County and then you have the ring or the collar counties here. Then everything else is downstate. No. You have Southern Illinois, which I would argue Southern Illinois is split right here where you have I-70, anything below Effingham. Because as soon as you get past Effingham, you start getting a lot more hills. You get out of those absolute flat fields. You do get some flat fields in Perry County, Washington County, up by Centralia and stuff. But I would say I-70, south of that is Southern Illinois. Central Illinois is going to be this big area, right? Right here. And then Northern Illinois is basically, I would say, is going to be I-80 and north. So that does include Rockford and so on. So whenever you think of just flat fields that you just see miles and miles and miles of just flat fields, that's going to be Central Illinois. So I never say downstate. I say Northern Illinois, Central Illinois, Southern Illinois, in the Chicagoland area. So I want to make that clear. But I think with these two, so we got one Southern Illinois county and one Central Illinois county. As a matter of fact, University of Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, where I got my bachelor's degree, is here in Madison County. The fact that she has those two is pretty impressive. So that means here, see, now we got Holly Kim up. Now, if you remember, I told you at the beginning of the stream, I think Holly Kim is going to win this. That's my belief. that she's going to win this. We'll see how Polymarket does, but I've been saying since the beginning that I think Holly Kim's going to win this. Just with the people I talk to. Do we have any other races? Let's see if we got any updates going on here. Still don't have any updates here. It says it's partially counted, not fully counted. So, let's see, how many votes were there before? 35. But so far, this is not the House of Delegates in Virginia is not a good result for the Democrats. And again, I'm a little bit worried about the 2026 swings. Some of them have been good. Take Texas, for example. Texas has been really good. The one that we're going to have from Florida a few weeks from now. Those Florida State House and State Senate special elections are huge because all the trends we're seeing come out of Florida look really, really good. Well, there are no students in Effingham County. Eastern Illinois is in Coles County. So this will be, where is it here? So Effingham County's here. Coles is right here. So Coles has Mattoon and Charleston. Charleston is where Eastern Illinois is. It's also where one of the Lincoln Douglas debate locations. So one of them is down here in, actually, I think it's in Union County in Jonesboro. Then you have one in Alton, which I think is still in Madison, but it might be in, I think it's still in Madison County. And then I have to figure out where all of those debate things are. Oh, I think Pritzker's great. Look at our credit rating before Pritzker. Look at our credit rating after Pritzker. I think he's awesome. Though one of the reasons why that credit score is also getting better is because we don't have Mike Madigan as speaker anymore. Yeah, that matters. All right, so we have McLean County in. Now, I don't think it's named after a family, but we're going old school. So we have Adlai Stevenson, who's from there. Adlai Stevenson, he's buried in McLean County. His cousin, or not cousin, his like one of his nephews, I think, is McLean Stevenson. He was one of the main characters on the show MASH. And I think McLean Stevenson, the last name McLean, is from a family member whose last name was McLean, and they made that his first name. And McLean might be named after that family there, because that's also where McLean Stevenson is from. Yeah, I mean, if J.B. Pritzker runs for president, I will support him. All right, so now we're just in a waiting mode. I was hoping for a little bit better of a turnout here on primary day, but no, it's kind of slow here on the stream. Oh, that's unfortunate. Because as I said, I am still keeping this channel, but I am significantly more focused on my history channel. Because the history channel is the only one that I like. I'll be honest. Also, I have channel 7 on ABC. I'm gonna go over to WMAQ. I'm gonna see if channel 5 has anything. I have the apps for channel 7 and channel 5. I don't have the app for channel 2, but I'm kind of in a point. I don't know if I'm like, if I'm like you guys, but I'm at the point I won't watch anything. Live TV guide? And it looked like they were showing ABC. Streaming TV only. Can I watch ABC? Shit, no. No, okay, out. there anything else on the map yet? No, we don't have anything else on the map. I'm going to go to WMAQ, good old Channel 5, see what they got going on, see what their coverage is. Because before they were just showing like NBC Now or something. Streaming news. They're talking about sports. I mean, it's still Channel 5. Now I'm going back to Channel 7. All right. So we don't have much going on right now. Let's go take a look. And yeah, we'll also keep an eye on Vote Hub here. See what they got in the 9th going on. Let's see what's happening. I'll refresh this. It said less than a minute ago. We're seeing that number go down. But that's, I mean, here again, let me show you what the results were in 2025, just a few months ago. Right? So Barry Knight must have passed away just like right after Election Day. He only won 56%. In the last election, looks like he was unopposed. 2021, those would have been new districts. So you can see it did go up to 71. That was somebody named Keith Hodges. So that might have been a different district. That might have been the old districts. But yeah, that's not an impressive result so far out of Virginia. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, we got DeKalb County, I think. Or no, Kane County. Krishnamurthy, 53. So that's going to put him ahead. Now remember, Krishnamurthy represented parts of Elgin, which is in Kane County. So that's not a surprise, which means if we got Kane County, we should have some 9th Congressional District results coming in here soon. Nothing yet. Okay, so is this where Salem? Yeah, Marion County. This is where Salem is. By the way, William Jennings Bryan, he was born in Salem, in Marion. This is kind of what I was expecting more from these counties. So Krishnamurthy with 42%, very few votes. You're not going to get many. I mean, even though Salem's there, you're not going to have many Democratic voters there. Let's see. Republican voters. Looks like there's more. Want to see if there's yeah, Holly Kim is still in the lead with all of these. Though they don't show Kane County here. Which is interesting. Okay, yeah, so that's yeah, see, I don't know why. I don't know why Decision Desk doesn't have Kane in there yet. They have Marion in there, but they don't have Kane in there yet. Okay, I'm just going to go really quick, see if I can get WBBM here. Which, by the way, I love WBBM radio. It's one of the only still true radio stations that is like a news radio station. Or no, I went back to WMAQ. No, WBBM is, what am I saying? WBBM CBS. WLS. Yeah, Channel 7's WLS. What am I thinking of? Okay, so let me go to WLS here. Okay, is that Clinton County? There's a nuclear power plant there. By the way, I forget what the guy, if you ever watch Full Metal Jacket, the guy on or no. I'm thinking of something different. Okay, yeah. Channel 7's got stuff. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Miller is dominating that House district. They need to work on there. I'm like clicking and clicking and clicking. So, got Pike County here. Yeah, so that's probably not a surprise. This was more, I was just interested in seeing what was going to happen. Dave Severin, I mean, that goes up into Marion County? It's got to include like one precinct in Marion County. Illinois comptroller is getting very interesting now. Okay, now Holly Kim is last. Now she's from Lake County. She should pull votes from Lake. Juliana Stratton is now somehow up by. Wait, what's happening here? Okay, so we're getting some shenanigans foolery here. So we got Kane County here, 53% for Krishnamurthy, but then we go over here, we have Kane County here for Stratton, 65%. What's going on? Come on now, people. What's going on here? I mean, I hope these are correct. Okay. Okay, 11,000. I mean, because those are different. 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, those are like totally different numbers. Like absolutely different numbers. Yeah, I expected Paul Jacobs to be in the lead. Oh, because Williamson County's come in. Okay, that's got to be election day. Come on. Like, I'm click, 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 click. Come on now. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to have to kill a bug today. Yeah, I have no idea what's happening. Okay, it looks like they fixed it. But I still can't. No, I don't want to delete. I'm trying to access it. Yeah, this is buggy. Oh, JB Pritzker, I'm watching it right now. JB Pritzker's giving his victory speech. Remember, he had a primary today. Okay, this is becoming very, very annoying. Okay, here we go. Jesus Christ. Okay. Now we got Cook County. We got some votes from Cook County coming in. Okay, if you're Juliana Stratton, that's what you want. Okay. She's not in the lead. That's a very small amount of votes. I don't know where that vote is coming from. See, they got something here on Vote Hub, but I don't think they got like I only see like live races. I only see like the 9th congressional district. That's all I see here. I'd love to know where that vote is. That Chicago vote, or is that Northwest Suburbs votes? Are those Northern Suburb votes by Evanston? I do. Okay. My guess is those votes with Kelly at 22%, Krishnamurthy at 27%. My guess is that's going to be more Chicago. Okay, Melissa Bean is now in the lead. So, yep, the results that came out of Kane County has Melissa Bean in the lead. All right, and the comptroller's race is going everywhere. Yeah, see, Croak, that's why I was a little bit afraid of, because I thought that Kim was going to be able to win these collar counties. Yeah, that's going to be it. All right, let's go back to the Senate race. Well, this is going to be a barn burner, I think. Well, Bean's original seat, I don't think went out that far west. Might have gone into Kane County. I didn't think it went into it. It was more Lake County, kind of more like the 9th congressional district. Going up into Wakanda, Island Lake, Mundelein, that area. Grays Lake. Might have even gone all the way up into Grays Lake. Here we go. 9th. Daniel, come on. And it's like I'm clicking it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Bugazela is not going to win. I don't think. Ah, we can go over to that vote hub. See where that's coming in. Yeah, see, remember I told you this is where her strength was going to be, right? I said it was going to be in the, because remember, the city of Chicago. So, okay, the city of Chicago actually does their elections separate from Cook County. That's why you're seeing that. This is why you're seeing the city of Chicago results. So we see her up on this one. But what, like, okay, so Chicago results are coming in. To me, Abugazela needs to be up by way more than that. I mean, geez, you can't get any closer, can you? 24.8, 24.5, 24.2. So this means that this includes, let's see. Yeah, this has a lot more votes here. So my guess is we're starting to see some some areas around Skokie, Niles, stuff like that, where I think we're starting to see that happen in here. All right, let's go back to the Senate. We have Krishnamurthy. This one's going to be a close one, people. Okay, so now Krishnamurthy's up in Cook County. So Krishnamurthy's up in Cook County. That means part of Western. This part that juts out here is starting to come in into Cook County. So now we have some Chicago and some Cook County results. All right. Oh, we got Williamson County down here. So let's look at House 2. Because I think this was kind of a surprising result. Okay. Okay, seriously, Decision Desk, you need to get this shit straight. Okay, so House District 2, that's going to be Cook. Yeah, that's right. It goes all the way down to Kankakee. Jesse Jackson Jr. looks like he might be in trouble. He might be in trouble. I assumed, I mean, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I thought LaShawn Ford was going to win this election. We'll see what happens. I mean, I assumed that he was going to be the leading candidate. Did not agree with Polymarket at all on that one. Melissa Bean is getting a little bit more of a lead now. If we can actually see her house race, there we go. Jesus Christ, get your shit together. Decision.chq. You better get this clicking bug out of your system before you go to the pro and put this thing up, for sale or have it available. I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, but Abugazela, I do not see her. I see in these counties, I see her finishing third. Let's go back up to the now Stratton is in the lead, and let's see if that's what we got here. Yeah, both of the things are just all over the place. Okay, now we have Stratton in the lead because Cook County is coming in. The key, as it is with every election, are going to be those collar counties. McHenry, Lake, DuPage, Will, Kane, DeKalb County. It's not a ring county, but I would put it in there. Oh, okay. So Franklin County, Stratton, 81 votes. I'm one of those 81s. Oh, we got a Winnebago County coming in. That's a big one for Krishnamurthy. Now, this is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's updated the numbers, but with those, I mean, that must be early vote. They did not have a good early vote turnout there. Stratton is going to start as Chicago starts coming in. She's going to start getting the lead. It does seem like Robin Kelly's vote is holding up. which I find quite interesting. She's doing a little bit better than I thought. Let's look at the comptroller one. This is going to be tight too. Yeah, Holly Kim's down, but Lake hasn't come in. That's going to be her strong suit. And I assume she's going to do a little bit better. Well, I thought she would have done better in Kane. So that probably is going to hurt her in DuPage. So I'll probably be wrong on that one. Let's look at, oh, good. Is Angela Davis getting her ass kicked? Yes, 39%. Awesome. Angela Davis is getting her ass kicked, and that's with Franklin County coming in. Yeah. Sorry, that's local politics BS. I won't bother you with. I mean, I look at it this way. If I'm a Democrat, hold on, let me see if I miss any super chats because I've been looking at this. No, I haven't missed any super chats. So I look at it this way. If I'm a Democrat in all of these primaries, I'm not a fan of Melissa Bean, but whoever wins, I'd be fine with. Let's look at this one. We still don't have Lake or McHenry at all, but we are seeing, let's go to Vote Hub. It's still just kind of, yeah, Vote Hub must only be connected to Chicago. Okay, look at that. Stratton, 36.6 to Krishnamurthy's 36.57. Jeez, you can't get any closer than that. Okay, BIS. Let's go back to the U.S. Senate race. Yeah, this one's going to be this. And you know what? And somebody mentioned this in the comments, and I was like, they're wrong. They're like, oh, a debate never changes anything. That debate helped Stratton out a lot. It helped her out a lot. Oh, we got a Robin Kelly. Is that Kankakee? Kankakee, Robin. Now, her congressional district goes down into this, right? If we go and look at her congressional district, you can see it goes down into Kankakee County. And it looks like Jesse Jackson Jr. is possibly going to lose this one. I thought he would going to be the favorite, but that name just doesn't pull the weight anymore. So, and Stratton is in third. So we will probably see Robin Kelly do well in these. Does her district go all the way down into Champaign, or does it just kind of stop in Iroquois County? Let me see. So I assume it goes into Iroquois County. Come on. No, it does. Yeah, it does go into Champaign. Okay. Oh, somebody says that was me. I was quoting you. I don't. What? Oh, were you the one that said no? I don't think it was. I see that you're a member. I don't think it was a member. I think somebody. I might have missed yours, but the person who made the remark that I was talking to wasn't. I don't think was a member. So I might have missed yours. So I'm sorry. Emoji reactions. I don't want emoji reactions. I'm not 6. I want results. Yeah, see, these are, let's see, 339,000 to 346,000. So in this one, they actually like they have, let's look, they have Franklin County, in there. They also, which one? Vermilion County. That's where Danville is. Now I'll tell you, in Cook County, you are starting to see Stratton and Kelly kind of separate a little bit. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm going to mute this if I start coughing. I'm trying to clear my throat and not sound disgusting for everyone. Let's look at the 8th and 9th. So we got any new things coming in yet? Okay, so we do have Cook County here. But that goes into Des Plaines. So these are actual Cook County numbers: Schaumburg, Des Plaines, Hoffman Estates, in places like that. Streamwood. We don't have DuPage County in yet. Let's look at. Okay, so see, now we do have Lake County in. And like I said, Abu-Ghazala is dead last. I expect her to be dead last in McHenry and Algonquin, Cary, in all those areas. We'll see what happens. Personally, I'm not that disappointed. How the primaries are going for me right now, I'm not that disappointed at all. I'm pretty happy so far. Pretty happy with the results. We'll see what keeps on going here. Oh, okay. So now we do have Krishnamurthy up in Will County. So then this becomes really to question the primary. And okay, and Lake County's in as well. Krishnamurthy up quite a bit. Is Cook County just gonna come in strong and ride the wave for Stratton? Could happen. Oh, okay. Now we do have a Sangamon County in, and Stratton's there. She's leading there. Not a surprise. Two things. One, she's lieutenant governor. Second, larger African American population. Do like that Marion is going for her with their handful of votes. Yeah. Angela Davis getting her ass kicked with, yes, I love it. Okay, these are, Visser. Now, Angela Davis, right-wing nutball, and this Harold Visser, I think his name is. He's also he's also a right-wing nutball, but that's only including Williamson County. So yeah, these results I'm pretty happy with. So except for Melissa Bean, I mean, I guess I could live with all of them. I could live with. See, here's the thing that people need to learn. Okay, I've been saying for weeks, and definitely the last few days, and in the stream or the video that I did. Come on, get on this 9th. This is getting so clunky. People in this district I mentioned, they don't like her attitude. She is an outsider. You don't want to be an outsider running in the Chicagoland area. People don't like that unless you live in Wrigleyville. You're not going to want to be an outsider. Okay. She came across as arrogant. She came across, even though in the debate she did really, really well, she came across as talking only about Gaza almost. But she did talk about a lot of stuff in the debates. She came off as arrogant. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Her supporters, and like I said, I've talked to a lot of people in the district over the last few weeks, and a lot of people think that she came across as arrogant. So she has to have an amazing comeback. The fact that she is third does not surprise me one bit. But I did not want to say that before the live stream because a lot of her supporters are extremely militant and what I would call 100%ers, which is you have to agree with us 100% of the time, or you're closed-minded. You know, if you don't agree with everything we say, then you're closed-minded, which is like the most closed-minded thing you can say. So I'm not disappointed that she's losing at all. Tell you the truth. And if she ends up being third, I think that would be awesome. She okay. I mean, that's a tough joke. I'm gonna say. Um, and also, you know what? This goes back to what I was saying, which is at the beginning of this, which is that uh, most voters do not watch Kyle Kalinske. Most voters do not watch the Young Turks. Most voters do not. I didn't even know who this girl was until she actually ran against Jan Schakowsky. Okay. Didn't even know who she was. And the fact that she always talked about she was from Texas, that was not a good thing. And the commercials that AIPAC ran against her, those were effective. If she said that she was more to the right on Trump, of Trump on healthcare and Social Security, that's what they targeted her on. That killed her. Even she should have answered those better. I don't think she did. I mean, maybe things will turn around, but I do not see McHenry going for her. So, to all those people who said I didn't know the district, even though I'm like literally from the district, because I didn't know how to pronounce her name, yeah, I know the district, and I would have voted for Daniel Biss in this. I voted for him in the primary against J.B. Pritzker when Pritzker first ran. I mean, if she runs again in the future, I don't think she can run again in Illinois. Illinois is a different beast. Okay? We are not an identity politics state. We hate identity politics. She had a lot of that in her campaign. We don't focus on Gaza. We are, let's go back to this this one Republicans website, right? Supporting and growing trades and unions. That's who we are. We're one of the true, still democratic, working class, New Deal states that there are. When you come in talking about Gaza and talking about woke stuff, you're not going to win here. I'm just telling you that you're not going to win here. And again, I know I'm a seventh generation Illinoisan. This is my state. This is where my family's from. My family's been here since 1853. I know the state. So Juliana Stratton is kind of pulling away. Now, of course, as of right now, so let's kind of go ahead and recap. Juliana Stratton is winning by around 3.5%. I think the big county that we're kind of waiting to come out right now. Okay, we obviously have Peoria County that we're waiting for. Do have Champaign, and I would say for that would help Stratton because we are seeing McLean, and McLean's the only college county that we have right now. We don't have Champaign. We can look at Jackson. We don't have anything from Jackson. That's where SIU is. SIUE is in Madison. The big one we're kind of waiting for now, the big county I think we're waiting for now is DuPage County. Let's see how that changes things. That could bring it back to Krishnamurthy. Oh, wow. The numbers went up even more. So there must have been more numbers coming from Chicago. I mean, and I think this is another thing when it comes to statewide politics. And I love it because I'm from that area. Chicago just dominates. Okay. So we got Juliana Stratton winning. We got Jesse Jackson Jr. losing if we can actually click. Okay. He could claw back, but I don't see that happening. So let's click on this. Sorry, the decision desk the decision desk is being so clunky here. Okay, LaShawn Ford is winning. I expected him to win. We'll see how that goes. Melissa Bean is also winning. DuPage County has not come in yet. I don't know how well she'll do in DuPage County because I don't think that was part of her congressional district before, though it might have been. Don't quote me on that. Daniel Biss is leading in the 9th. If we can get... There we go. Okay, so we got 31% to 23% to 22%. Okay, so now Kat has moved into second place. We'll see how that goes. We still do not have McHenry County, and that I don't know if I assume McHenry is going to either go for fine or Biss. Could go for fine, possibly. Unless there's more people voting in the Republican primary there, which I don't see happening. But let's go to Illinois Comptroller. We do, Holly Kim, I'm kind of surprised she's running that low. Yeah, Lake County came in. I knew that she would do well there, but she's not doing well in the other collar counties. Interestingly, yeah, she is doing well in Southern Illinois. But again, it's Cook County that kind of runs everything. Let's go back to what we have in Virginia. What do we have going on here? Okay, 62. This is still not a good result for the Democrats in Virginia. So, and then these other state house races are just ones that I'm watching. No, is Visser now losing? Awesome. I do not want him to win. Yeah, Duty's from Williamson County. I don't know where Lloyd's from. He must be from like Union County. All right, let's go back to the U.S. Senate race. I'm just looking at that bug over there. I'm eventually going to have to just... Cat's narrowing. McHenry still has not come in. My guess is... Oh, I forgot. We have this... Yeah, there we go. As you can see, I mean, there's a small precinct right here. But as I mentioned, remember I mentioned at the beginning of this, I said that this area in and around in and around Chicago here, this is where she was going to do well. As you can see in Skokie and other places, Evanston, she's not pulling enough. Well, this is all, okay, no, this is all Cook County. Okay. So that's not good for her. We do... I wonder why they don't have it by precinct. We do have it by precinct here. So we do see, let's go up into Island Lake here. Not many, let's go into Wakanda. We don't have many votes there. But yeah, these are going to be way more. So these are just a few votes coming in now. As soon as more votes come in from Lake and McHenry County over here, I think you're going to see Kat go back down into third. And she doesn't have as much of Chicago as the other congressional districts. So we'll see what happens. Let's go back to that 8th. I mean, the thing is, you got so many candidates, right? So, I mean, 25%, 11. You're going to have, and this is one thing she said during the debate, Kat said during the debate, was that, it kind of sucks that someone can win this seat with 30-some% of the vote in a Democratic primary. I agree with her on that. She's right. I mean, she needs Evanston, and I don't know how she's going to win Evanston when one of the candidates that's running is the mayor of Evanston. It is getting closer, and I think that's a lot of the Chicago number. Let's see, it's okay, 26,563. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a Chicago number that's going up. I don't know if any of the other numbers are going up, and we still don't have, unless there's just a bunch of progressive voters that are voting in Algonquin, Cary, Crystal Lake and stuff. I don't even think that's most of Crystal Lake. That's just kind of, no, it includes all of Crystal Lake essentially. Okay. Fox River Grove. Does it have Burton's Bridge and all that? No, Burton's Bridge is right there. It doesn't really include all of Wakanda. It doesn't even go along the lake here. Starts getting more Republican once you get up into there. It starts right here is where, I mean, this is kind of rural-ish, but it gets really rural when you get into here, into Ivanhoe and stuff like that. Now, the question is, could she get enough votes here? Could she get enough votes here in Chicago, and then Biss and Laura Fine split up the votes elsewhere? Could that happen? Yes, that could. It's a situation we're seeing all over the place. God, Pritzker's still talking? Or no, this must be a recording. All right, so let's get back to the U.S. Senate race. Robin Kelly is pulling a little, oh, looks like Putnam County has come in. Little old Putnam County. There we go. And, you know, and a lot, like if we look at LaSalle, we look at Ottawa and stuff like that. We look at Grundy County. A lot of those voters, if they're going to be Democratic voters, are going to be union voters. So a lot of union voters are going to be in this area who are Democratic voters. Krishnamurthy is not going to really get the union support. Still haven't had DuPage. Once DuPage comes in, that could flip this result. That really could. I mean, we can have another person in the U.S. Senate race. I mean, forget Kat's seat. Let's think of the whole state of Illinois. We can have someone that wins with 35% of the vote in Democratic primary. Champaign has not come in yet. Jackson hasn't come in yet. Let's see how much is coming in from Monroe. These are some small little... Monroe, or is it in Randolph? Chester. That's where the creator of Popeye is from. Well, it's funny how Polly Market was all Krishnamurthy until like, what, 5 minutes ago? And now all of a sudden it's Juliana Stratton? Huh, funny how that works. Polly Market's such shit. Yes, like this page. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Like the page. Like I said, right now it's looking like I'm not gonna. I'm do these live streams and stuff like that. A few election stuff. I am thinking about talking about the French elections coming up and all that. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like in this one, there's just so many candidates. Yeah, I mean, people are talking about Bersha taken away from that. Yeah, but Phil Andrews, I think Steve Kerr endorsed him. That vote would probably be going to Daniel Biss or Laura, probably more Daniel Biss. So, I mean, for all these candidates, you could say, oh, well, that vote would have gone to somebody else. Yeah, so it looks like we're in a hold right now. And I'm kind of wondering... The presidential frontrunner is likely not being talked about currently. Obama wasn't in 2008. Go look and see go look at what, I have a video about it. On my election history channel, did a video about Jimmy Carter in the primaries. Look at where he was polling weeks before Iowa. Nationally. 1%, 0%. Wins Iowa, dominates and wins the nomination. Yeah, you know what? And maybe, and I'll admit this, maybe some of my feeling, like I got the Holly Kim thing was kind of a vibe. I mean, I was born in Lake County, but this might be why too, is a lot of the people where I'm living right now were supporting her, and that might have like swayed my opinion. Looks like Stratton is increasing her lead. We still have the elephant in the room right now as far as the statewide results. Possibly the 8th congressional district, but really the statewide results, we're waiting for DuPage County and we're waiting for McHenry County. That's going to impact the 9th congressional district. So we'll see what happens there. But I do have to say, if what we see right now is the final result, like if it's somewhere similar to this, where we see with Stratton and Krishnamurthy, Stratton did well. She's doing well, but this was a rejection of Krishnamurthy. He dropped because that Robin Kelly number is not small. That 20% is a pretty, I think, is a pretty impressive number, and winning Kankakee County right now. That's impressive. Still waiting for Champaign, DuPage, McHenry, Peoria, Jackson. We're waiting for some decent counties to come up. So anything is over yet. Well, it's not just Crystal Lake. You have Crystal Lake, you have Lake in the Hills, you got all that Randall Road area. You have Crystal Lake, you have Lake in the Hills, you have Algonquin, you have the old Algonquin, which is over by the Fox River. You got the what I call New Algonquin, which is along Randall Road, but it only includes that area in and around Algonquin Road and Randall Road. So where Jacobs High School is. You got Cary. I mean, I don't see her doing well in any of those places. Granted, those places aren't, if we go back to this map here, those places over here are not going to be as conservative as Wakanda or Crystal Lake, but they're not going to be that either. Yeah, I mean, we haven't had, I mean, has anything, so I do, Schwartz, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. I do have the state house races here for Pennsylvania on the watch list. So if something comes up, I will be mentioning it. So yeah. Yeah, because I think as of right now, and again, we'll see what happens. This is more, at this rate, this is more of a Krishnamurthy loss than it necessarily is a Stratton win. Though again, Stratton performed well in that debate. That mattered. And you know what? Why did she debate or perform well? It's because she was hammering and hammering and hammering on Medicare for all. That's what did it. Okay, Livingston County, I think, oh, just a few votes there. I think that's where Streeter is. I don't know. Okay, guess what? Since we have a slow day today and I'm not worried about losing a ton of people, I'm going to be gone for 3 minutes to take a bathroom break. So I will be back soon. All right, so I'm back. Let's see. It does look like this is getting a little closer. Are we getting some votes? Let's go back to this map. Still don't have any of McHenry County. Come on, McHenry County, get your stuff together. We haven't had much movement in Cook County either. See, I think with Kat's vote, I think with Kat's vote, like any potential more vote she gets in is not going to come in. Oh, there you go. 10 minutes later, if you finally come on. But it is getting closer. But again, have nothing from McHenry. That's going to impact the Senate race too, because as soon as McHenry, Juliana Stratton has not won this yet. As soon as DuPage and McHenry come in, then I have this feeling it's going to tighten up, because Krishnamurthy is winning in Kane County, he's winning in Lake, he's winning in Cook. A lot of the university counties have not come in. So we have DeKalb County, is right here, excuse me. DeKalb County, it's not DeKalb, it's DeKalb. Champaign. So we do have Coles. Okay, so here we go. Coles County is a university. It's where Eastern Illinois University is. So you can see Stratton at 57%. Even though it does have Eastern Illinois University, I would say Mattoon is probably where most is, but that's a small percentage. So Coles County, Champaign, Jackson County, where SIU is, Madison County, where SIUE is. These are your big ones. Now, and oh yeah, we still are waiting for Peoria County as far as the big counties as well. So as far as the statewide thing, it's not nearly over yet. Oh, good. Yeah, Angela Evans is gonna friggin' lose. I hope. Good. I can't stand her. Starting to get a map filled now. Geez, I go to the bathroom and 300 or 100 people leave. Jesus Christ. Talk about ADD. Jeez. Though this might be enough of a gap. Let's see what we got of Chicago coming in, or Cook. See, and the thing is that says Cook County, but we don't really know how much of that is Chicago and how much of that is Cook, because they do the election separately. If it's starting to top out now in Chicago, some of these other, I mean, the battleground might end up being the university counties. And so far, the university counties are going slightly. I mean, because this is only what, a few hundred, 200 votes, right? McLean's bigger, obviously. You know, those might be what determines the race. But we do have a number of big counties now. We do have Peoria. And one thing we got to say with Peoria, we have to see how Bustos does in Peoria. She could take a little bit of the vote there. Who does that take it away from? I assume it takes it away from Krishnamurthy. Let's see. Melissa Bean is increasing her lead. Daniel Biss is increasing his lead. Do we have some McHenry County number? No, we still don't have McHenry County numbers in. Let's go over to that nice little map here. And when it came to Ebegazela's numbers, I was like, I do think that she could possibly win if Daniel Biss and Laura Fine totally split their votes, but it does look like more gravitating toward Biss. That will make it that it could help him out more. Okay, Stratton has 44% of the Chicago vote. I guess the question is, I'm just kind of wondering how much of the vote is out, right? I mean, if she has 44% of the Chicago votes, then if she has 44% of the Chicago vote, that means Robin Kelly has to have a pretty large chunk of the Chicago vote too. Raja has to be third. Haven't had much movement in the comptroller's race. Oh, okay. Wow. Whoa. Okay, so we got this one. Let's look at another state. Okay. Wow. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's see. Pennsylvania State House District 79. Let's go ahead and to give you an idea, this one's a big one. So we got the Republicans winning. It's a Republican district. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. The Republican is winning it 52.8 to 47.2. Now, let's look at this district. Okay. So it's in Altoona. So it's not technically in the middle of nowhere. But let's look at this. Democrats didn't even run anyone that time. Here, Democrats had a write-in candidate, right? This is 2020, so this would have been a different district probably. But as you can see, it's the same representative, so it's the same area. So you can see the Republicans in 2020, when 2020, a Biden year, right? Won 70.2% of the vote. That is a huge swing. So whatever the disappointment we have over in here, what's happening in Virginia, because this is a disappointing result for Democrats, this is a huge result for the Democrats. Wow. See, Pennsylvania, I mean, that, well, I always say, like James Carville says, it's the Alabama of Pennsylvania, which means this 193 could flip if this one is so close. That's impressive. Wow, that is a huge no, it's not it's a R plus 20 district. 70.2. It's an R plus 20 district. It's not an R plus 40. It's an R plus 20. An R plus 40 would have to be the Republicans winning 90%, which they nearly have in some of the elections. Okay, we got a few more counties coming in. Nothing big. None of the counties that I'm really looking for. Peoria is still out. DeKalb's still out. McHenry's still out. DuPage is still out. Champaign's still out. Jackson's still out. Madison is still out. So some pretty big counties are out still. Oh, here we go. Was that? No. That's where Jacksonville is right here, Morgan County. Stratton is doing really well here in central Illinois. I am surprised by that. I am surprised that she's doing well in central Illinois. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on, and she's increasing her lead a little bit. The question now, with all the central Illinois vote going her way, because she's winning Sangamon County, she's winning. My family's originally from Piatt County, right here. No votes coming there. That's a very Republican county now. Things have kind of stabilized now in all the races, I would say. I think things are kind of stabilizing. We kind of see where the map is going, and personally, I'm happy where things are going right now. Oh, if Juliana Stratton wins, and this is one thing that needs to be talked about. Maybe I'll do a video about it tomorrow. Even though my videos suck on here, my videos now do better on the History Channel. But um, if there was any election where Medicare for all was the difference, it was this primary. If Juliana Stratton wins. Now, if to be honest, Robin Kelly and Juliana Stratton, there's not much daylight between those two when it comes to the issues. Okay? It's just that Stratton did significantly better in the debate and Robin Kelly didn't. That was it. And where she did significantly better in the debate was on the issue of Medicare for all and slamming Krishnamurthy on that. Oh, here's something I want to see. Cook County okay, no, that's Cook County assessor. I got WLS up here. Okay, so there we go. See, so this is what I was telling you. Remember, it's a very small percentage of the vote, so we'll see what happens. Remember, I was telling you that LaSalle County, Ottawa, places like that, Marseilles, should be said Marseille, but they say Marseilles, Ottawa, and so on. This is going to be, if people are voting Democratic primary, they're going to be voting as union members. Oh, Ottawa is another place where one of the Lincoln Douglas debates were. So yeah. Let's see if we got anything from that other Pennsylvania district. Now, let's go ahead and look at Vote Hub, what we got here. Kat is out of touch with everyday Americans with her elitist views. Yes, I mean, I think she could. Let's put it this way. It almost was her. If I were to vote, if I just and this is going to sound shitty, but it's true. If I were to have read a transcript of the debate and had no idea who the candidates were, and I purely looked at the transcript of the debate that they had, and they had 6 people in the debates. They did the 3 main candidates and then another 3. Based off that transcript, I probably would have voted for Kat. But because of the elitist views, but honestly, it's our way or the highway, especially with many of her supporters. Many of her supporters are you believe 100% in what we believe, or you're closed-minded, which again is the most closed-minded thing that you could say. I would have voted for her if it was just the issues. But the intangibles would be the reason I would never vote for her. Yeah, they just called Donna Miller. So yeah, Jesse Jackson's done. I mean, you got to remember, Jesse Jackson had some corrupt shit too, right? When he was in Congress. So that is some baggage that you're going to carry. Stratton is increasing her, a little bit. Now, let's put it this way. I'm surprised Stratton is leading by 6% with Robin Kelly having 20%. That does shock me. Okay. But yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you one thing with Kat, there was one thing she said in the debate that no one says that I really enjoy. And I guess we'll just talk about this while we're waiting for some results to come in. Oh, okay. We got that House District 193. Okay. Well, no, we're waiting more for Cumberland County to come in. Of course, we expect this county to be heavily Republican, but we got to wait for Cumberland County to come in. She said something I don't hear Democrats saying that I think needs to be said. So she talked about how Daniel Biss won the support of the state AFL-CIO. And then she went ahead and said, well, you didn't really win the support because most of the workers didn't support you. They voted and they said that they didn't support you. And then clarification needed to be made by why am I forgetting her name now? Jesus, come on. Linda Fine, or Laura Fine, excuse me, had to be defined by Laura Fine, saying what she's saying is that the leaders of the unions supported you, but the rank and file workers don't. And then Kat said yes, and that's the problem, is that the union leaders are doing the backdoor deals for the endorsements. This is why I always say that I am anti-union. I'm not anti-worker. I'm not anti-union what the union can do. I'm anti-union leadership, which hijacks Medicare for all, hijacks the electoral process, hijacks the endorsement process. This is the reason why Sherrod Brown is not a progressive. Sherrod Brown is a moderate's idea of a progressive. And when she said that, that was, wow. Okay, so yes, thank you. DuPage County Inn. And it did not move the needle that much. It did not move the needle that much at all. Wow. No. Stratton's only down by like 0.5% because she was like at, just a second ago, was like at 6.0, 6.1 or something like that. So it was only 0.5%. And Robin Kelly getting 15.5% there. That was that's impressive. I will tell you again, the fact that Robin Kelly is doing so well and yet Stratton is in the lead is kind of what's shocking me the most. But honestly, to me, Kat is one of those right message, wrong messenger. And her supporters do more to insult. I'm not saying all of them, not those of you who are out there supporting her that, are open-minded stuff, but a lot of her supporters do more to turn people away from her candidacy than toward it. Okay. I'm sorry. The issues that are happening here in the state of Illinois are not 100% Gaza. And she, give her credit, she didn't really do that, but she talked about other issues, but she made it a little bit too much of a little bit of focus. Okay, so Madison County is in. Now this is where SIUE is. This is where my university is, SIUE. So Stratton's went in 42%. Stratton is dominating the Metro East area. So St. Clair County 43%. Madison 42%, down in Monroe County 40%. So she's doing quite well in the Metro East. What about ICE? She was big. You know what? ICE is a big issue. It's not the number one issue. Here in the state of Illinois, can you afford groceries? Can you afford your car payment? Can you afford your mortgage? Can you afford this? We're the quintessential working class neighborhood. Okay? This is the reason why in Chicago, you don't hear much about identity politics here as much. It is or in Illinois, I should say, but definitely in Chicago, we are not an identity. We are kind of the old New Deal liberals and progressives. That's what we are. We are not the new progressives of identity politics and Gaza and ICE. They're important issues and they need to be dealt with. People are worried about putting food on their table. That's the Illinois voter. And that's why it is my favorite state. I love being an Illinoisan, and I am proud of being from the Chicagoland area because they are the kind of Democrats that I am. Okay. Melissa Beans is coming down a little. Oh, wow. Okay. Ahmed is actually winning in DuPage County, so that I assume that's going to be an early vote dump because I assume. I mean, Melissa Bean, I'm kind of surprised she's winning mostly in Kane and not in Cook. But remember, she represented parts of Lake before. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on the Pennsylvania races. Let's go over to the. Yeah, see this. I mean, if you're the Democrats, this is so far. This is the big disappointment of the night. This should be. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. I was looking up here and I was thinking that maybe they weren't having all the results come in. Um, let's see. So yeah, I mean they're still doing partially here in Virginia, but that's not a good result. Um, so that's a swing to the Republicans. Let's be honest. That's a pretty decent swing to the Republicans in that race. What is that? It's going to be about a 8% swing right now. Yeah. Yeah, so like Sherrod Brown, the problem I have with Sherrod Brown is he doesn't play the identity politics, but he's also not, I would say, liberal on or progressive on economic issues. I think he's very much a centrist. Rodman, you asked what happened there. Tell me where there is. Okay, Champaign County came in. Champaign County came in. Stratton's going to win this thing. Stratton's going to win this thing. Because once we get Jackson County here, that's going to go for her. I guess we got to wait to see what Peoria does. McHenry won't have as many votes as DuPage. And we'll see what happens. That's not enough of a lead for DuPage. But yeah, I mean, she's dominating the college. She's dominating the colleges. Okay. I mean, even though McLean, she's under 50%, she's doing well there. She's doing well in Champaign. She's doing well in Coles. She's doing well in what's the other one? Where's what? I mean, there's not as many people at Western. She's doing well in Madison, SIUE. Though Madison is more than SIUE, just don't have Jackson County. She's dominating the university towns. And the fact that Krishnamurthy is not over 50% in any of the collar count. Well, no, okay. His barely at 50% in Lake County. Yeah, she's gonna win this. She's gonna win this. Daniel Derrick, thank you very much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. How do you think the midterm elections are looking for Democrats? U.S. Senate, particularly North Carolina, Maine, Iowa, Arizona, and Texas. I think all of them can be won. North Carolina had a poll that was a little bit concerning, but again, I'm not a big poll person. I still think Cooper is going to do fine. Maine Plattner is looking impressive. I want to see what happens in the primary first. If he dominates that primary, I think we pick up that seat. Iowa, wait, hold on a second. So Rob Sanders running for governor. Okay. So he's not running for senator. There's I forget what the name of there's Walls and there's another guy. in there. Two good Democratic candidates that are running in Iowa. I think that's going to be the surprise on election night if everything goes well. Arizona. Is there a Senate race in Arizona this year? Katie Hobbs is up again. And then Texas. I think Texas looks good right now. It'll be interesting to see what the runoff does. Yeah, the 9th is getting a little closer, but we still don't have McHenry, and we only have less than half of Lake in. Daniel Biss is going to win this. And I'm still not counting out the fact that Laura Fine is not going to finish second. I'm pretty sure Juliana Stratton has become Illinois' next U.S. Senator. So somebody just mentioned this about redistricting. Did they redistrict the state house, or were those just the congressional seats? So I don't know. Now it's about a 6% swing. Let's see what's happening in my county. I'm one of those 200. My family and I are amongst those 226 votes for Stratton. I'm kind of surprised, actually. Come on. Okay. So to give you an idea, so like I said, I'm from the Chicagoland area and stuff like that. Okay, whatever. I have lived in Southern Illinois for a while, and I can tell you one thing: the where I live right now was represented by a Democratic member of Congress, was represented by a Democratic state senator, a Democrat state House member, Democratic county commissioner, a Democratic county, the county commission in general. All the constitutional offices in the county were Democratic. Now, there's no Democratic candidate running for state house, no Democratic candidate running for state senate, a weaker candidate running for, though I like her, weaker candidate running for Congress. I now have no elected Democrats. 10 years ago, here, everyone was elected Democrats and pretty safe. Now, no one's an elected Democrat. Okay. Well, maybe 12 years ago. So I've seen the change. So when I say, oh, this doesn't work and this doesn't work, I'm speaking from experience of seeing what's happened, right? This is one of the problems with the pontification amongst those in what I would call liberal elite circles and progressive elite circles that think they know what people are thinking. The problem is they're always in their elite circles and don't touch grass outside of the, touching the keyboard. They see what Kyle Kulinski thinks and think that's what the world is. But no, got to get out there. Got to go to places that have flipped 40%, like where I live. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Kind of surprised McHenry hasn't. The only ones we're really waiting for Peoria. We're waiting for McHenry. We're waiting for Jackson. Obviously the other ones are counting right now, but I think those are the ones that we're waiting for. They have 0 results right now. Oh, VoteHub called it for Stratton. For some reason on VoteHub, I'm only getting this congressional district, right? Like here. It's like I'm not getting anything. Is it under analysis? Polls, projects, elections, precinct map? It's like, wait, what a shitty website. I love them. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, Jesus Christ. Okay. So I'm just sticking with it there. Yeah, I think Stratton has won it. As soon as Champaign came in, and as soon as DuPage came in. Yeah, McHenry County's not going to save her. It's over. It's over, I think. It's over. Juliana Stratton's going to be the next U.S. Senator. I can't say I'm disappointed with today's election results. So everyone's mentioning Melissa Bean. We'll see what happens here because, again, you have a lot of candidates near 10%. Again, how many? I'm going to look at ABC really quick. I mean, here's the thing. How many people tonight are going to win a seat to Congress because the general election's a foregone conclusion? How many people are going to win a seat to Congress today with low 30% of a Democratic primary? It's insane. There's going to be so much. I mean, Daniel Biss is going to be like that. Melissa Bean's going to be like, Juliana Stratton's going to be like that. Right? So it's just weird. Pennsylvania 79. Okay. Now it's now it's I mean, now it's gone more. I mean, 95% in, but 57%. I mean, we're talking about a district that went 70%. That's a pretty big drop. And remember, it went 70% in 2020. Now that was an old district, but like I said, it's the same Republican who ran in 2022 and in 2024. So my guess is it's the same district. That's a huge swing for the Democrats. Unfortunately, this one, I don't think this one is going to pan out for the Democrats in Virginia. We'll see. We'll see how that works. And in Will County, the fact that Juliana Stratton is second and not Kelly, because her congressional district does go into the slightly, like all the way to the eastern part of that, of Will County. None of them, I mean, like, yeah, that kind of surprised me. Stratton's finishing second. I mean, if she's ahead in Will County, it's over. At that point, the only big counties that Krishnamurthy is winning is Lake County and DuPage. Or Kane, right? In Kane County. My guess is he's going to be leading once McHenry County comes in. All right, so it's kind of, we're back at a slow point again. I'm going to look and see if they've declared. I'm looking at WLS, see if they're declaring anyone the winner in the Democratic primary. Okay, Miller in the second. Darren Bailey, that crazy bastard, is going to be running for governor again. Jeez. Well, he is running for governor, but he won the primary with 48%. Yeah, I don't see anything else going on. I'm just seeing if the television is. I'm seeing if the television. It's just saying anything different. Seeing if they're saying anything different on Channel 7. I don't really see anything. God, there's so I can't watch it because like they're showing two candidates at a time, and there's just so many candidates in some of these districts. They're still going through. They've been going through the 7th congressional district for like 30 seconds. Okay, so let's go to 8. Okay. All right, let's just go back to this. Oh, Stratton is going down a little bit. So, what's happening here? Is it Kaine coming in more? Doesn't matter. I mean, because whatever Krishnamurthy gains on DuPage and Kaine, well, you know what? Now that does surprise me. So, DeKalb County, maybe that was one that hadn't come in yet. Yeah, because it says 8:39, so that would have been 1 minute ago. So that's the first university town, DeKalb. And is the town near there Sycamore? I think it's Sycamore. That's like east of town. I mean, it's like basically the only towns that are in DeKalb County, or DeKalb and Sycamore. Yeah, I thought Stratton would have won there. So that's going to be the first university town where she doesn't win. Still don't have McHenry at all with anything. Let's go over to that Virginia. I don't know what's taking long with this Virginia number. Oh, here, view status. So you can see all the precincts in this Virginia Beach House District are partially reported. Okay, yeah, DeKalb and Sycamore. I thought it was Sycamore. So you have to go through Sycamore. If you're coming from kind of like the Chicago area, you got to take the back way and you have to go through Sycamore to get to NIU. That's where Northern Illinois University is. So it's a 5% lead. I mean, okay, so the only way that I see Krishnamurthy pulling this out, which I really don't, are a few things. One, if Chicago is totally finished counting and the vote coming in now is going to be from this northwest suburbs, Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates, Streamwood, and obviously he's doing well in Kaine, so Elgin and places like that. If those are still counting for him, but Chicago is essentially done, and then McHenry comes in and he still continues to get more votes out of Kaine, DuPage. Oh, Will County is now flipped over to Stratton. Okay. That's big. That's big. Is there a pathway to victory? Is there a pathway to victory? Yes. Is it a very, very, very narrow and treacherous path? Yes. Let's look at the 9th. Still don't have, well, of course, we still don't have McHenry. Yeah, the fact that, yeah, see, and here you go right here. So you got Cook County. Abugazela is second place. But as you can see, okay, let's look at this. She's going to do well in Chicago and Cook County, right? Look at Cook County's results and look at the results, the total county results there, right? We hardly have anything in from Lake County. That's not going to go her way. We have nothing from McHenry County. That's not going to go her way. My guess is still just gut feeling, not basing it off of statistics or anything. I'm not running algorithms while we're doing this. I still say she's going to finish third in this district. This whole entire night, I've been hearing a bug over there flying. And the problem is when you live here in Southern Illinois and there are the soybean fields and cornfields and all that over there, what happens in all the houses here are the bugs, and this is going to sound sick, but it happens. The bugs, um, the bugs coming from the fields will come into people's house during the winter. There's no chance of Fine coming in second. Why? Give me the logic behind that. The comptroller's one getting a little bit closer. Yeah, Holly Kim is totally out of it. I thought she, and again, okay, like maybe what clouded my judgment is like the counties I live in and around are some of her strongest counties down here in Southern Illinois and Lake County, where I was born. That might have clouded my judgment. I will admit that, but I'm not in the world of predictions. Whoa, why is WLS off? Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. I do want to see McHenry. McHenry is like going to change a lot of things here. Saw that another county came in. I don't know where that was. Wasn't Clinton? We've had that. Washington County. That's where DuQuoin is, or no, Perry County is where DuQuoin is. Washington County is where Nashville is. Was it Montgomery that just came in? So funny. Montgomery County, it says it reported at 3:02 p.m. No, that would be impressive. Ford County. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at here. 59%. Okay. Let me throw up what it did before so we can get an idea. It's one of these places that were uncontested in the past. As you can see, look at this. Last time a Democrat contested it was 2018. And again, I assume it's going to be a similar district because it is the same incumbent. So here, 93.94%. You have the Democrat at 40%, but the Republican at 59%, right? But look at this. Uncontested 2020, uncontested 2022, uncontested 2024. Okay. And then you finally contest it and you keep the Republicans under 60%. These things need to be contested, people. These things do need to be contested. Okay, they're not wins, but make Republicans spend money in places where they should be, wasting money. Make them defend seats. Yeah, I thought tonight was going to be a little bit of a better stream than usual, but it's a slow stream tonight. Yeah, if that's coming in. Oh, here, interesting. Oh, okay. They do a remain type of thing. Yeah, so it's just percentages and Yeah, I mean, if Krishnamurti is winning Peoria by that much with the early vote dump, and it doesn't really move the needle, I mean, it really didn't move the needle at all. Um, it's not. If Krishnamurti cannot, yeah, I don't think he's going to do it. His it's narrowing. Because you still have Chicago coming in. You have Champaign coming in. Do you have Sagamon coming in? No, it's pretty much in. Still got Cook coming in. 78%, but you know, that 22% that's a lot of votes. Is Daniel Biss an automatic win in general election? Absolutely. Actually, I was thinking if Cat won the district, I honestly was wondering if it would have been a competitive district. Just look at the 1983 mayor's race in Chicago to show how much, you know, how much people can flip. Yeah, Biswood is going to easily win that. I think Cat would have still won it, but she would have probably been possibly in the mid 50s. Yeah, but again, it's because Cook County's coming in. Nothing is really coming from less than half's coming from Lake. Nothing from McHenry. Once McHenry comes in, you're gonna see. Once McHenry comes in, then it's basically Biss's for the win because the looking at what Lake County's doing right now. Expect McHenry County. I mean, I could be wrong, but expect McHenry County to be a carbon copy of what you see in Lake County. They're very similar people. Yeah, McHenry's taken forever. If this is at 81%, we'll see how much more it goes. These two right here could flip Fine and Abugazela. We'll see. Still gotta wait for McHenry. Oh, what just came in? I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that's Kendall County. Even though it's close to so Grundy County, that's where Morris is, Kendall County. I forget what cities in Kendall County. Um, but like once you get into Morris and Kendall here, like Kane is pretty suburban because it has Elgin. But once you get into Kendall and Grundy here, now you're getting into the exurbs. Now you're getting into rural parts outside of Chicago. That's how far the rural you have to go until you really start hitting it. Okay, Decision HQ called it. Well, we're on Decision HQ's platform here, and they're not calling it. Oh, look at Henderson County. Whoa. All right. So, um, Kevin Ryan. I like if I weren't were I'll admit I voted for Juliana Stratton for two things. One, I wanted a Medicare for all person. Two, I did not want Krishnamurti to win because he's not a Medicare for all person. But if like anyone had a chance to win it, Kevin Ryan, I liked that guy. I really did. I don't know where he lives. He lives in Evergreen Park. He was born in Evergreen Park. My family got a lot of my family on my mom's side lived in Evergreen Park. Ruben Gallego was born in Evergreen Park. That's why I like Ruben Gallego. Um, just flip back to Brown, Sean Brown. Okay, that's weird. Um, wonder if that's over where Nauvoo is. Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day. Oh, hold on. Because I want to see who won the board president in Cook County. Shaped county government. Do they have a result on that? Toni Preckwinkle, she'd been there forever. Well, not forever, for like 15, 16 years. And she was being challenged. And I don't know if she won or lost. So they didn't have Cook County on here. They didn't have the board president. Ah, Jesus H. See? 2004 Illinois. No. No, Nauvoo. That's where oh yeah, okay, Prinkwick. Oh, she won. She beat Brendan Riley, who I think was an alderman um on the Gold Coast. Um Nauvoo, that's if you're a Mormon, that's where Joseph Smith is buried. Mormons. Yes. Yes, she did. Come on, McHenry County. I mean, like, really? Come on. I mean, it does look like there are going to be so many candidates. State House 2, let's see what the. Okay, that one's for over 30, or over 30, or I should say over 40%. I mean, LaShawn Ford, I mean, that's insane. LaShawn Ford can be elected to Congress because this is a straight Democratic seat, right? He can be elected to Congress with 23% of the primary vote. That's insane. And that's the thing, is like, if a field is just so wide, like if you want to get in politics, there's a congressional race and like 8, 9 candidates are running, get in there because you never know what's going to happen. Just throw yourself in there. Yeah, see, I'm a little bit more awake for this primary than Texas and all that because this is my primary, right? This is the one that I voted for. I voted early. Jackson County. So the only counties I'm really looking at right now, Jackson County hasn't come in, and McHenry. I mean, those are the really. Jackson County's Carbondale. McHenry is McHenry. Do you think we should have runoffs in Illinois? Um, Good question. I mean, I'm not a big supporter of ranked choice voting. Um, I'm not a big supporter of ranked choice voting because I think it doesn't really solve the issue. I think at the end of the day, you're still going to be stuck with a Democrat or Republican. I really want proportional representation. It's not going to happen, but that's what I would want. Well, according to this, it shows 886,000 to 909,000. You know what? Maybe I'll go up to Chicago this weekend. I could use a good break. Yeah, Brendan Riley is still an alderman. I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to kill that bug. I I I had to kill that bug. I mean, just waiting for McHenry. And that's why I think that maybe some are waiting for McHenry to come in, but I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. Stratton is going to win this thing. I mean, I think all the people that we see right now, I I think that's what our these are going to be. Maybe not the final results, but the people who are going to win. Let's see. Wow, Jacobs dominated. Sorry, I just got to go to the state house seats. she got she got her ass kicked in her own backyard. Okay, sorry, that's just a personal privilege race I'm watching there. Yes, the bug will not be missed. Um yeah, because yeah, these bugs are they're annoying. And see what we have, like I said, it was like the high temper or the high temperature today was 28 degrees. So the high temperature was 28 degrees. Let's see, what's the temperature now? 30. Okay, no, it went up to 33. It's 33 right now and snowing. Okay? Saying there's snow right now in 33 degrees. Okay? But Saturday, 82 degrees. Friday, 78 degrees. I hate the weather here. Ah, McHenry came in. Okay, Krishnamurthy, I expected him to do well there. Let's see. Do we have it here now? We still don't have it here. Ah, we got it here. Ah, wow. Okay, that's a shock. Wow. Okay. Maybe something. I did not expect this to be that close. Daniel Biss is still going to win this thing, but I'm surprised at the McHenry County. We'll see what happens with Lake County. That's got to be election day vote as well. That must have just been a big dump. I thought Fine was going to be third there. I guess she was damn close to being third. But Abugazela was very close to being first. Wow, that shocks me. That shocks me. Like I said, you can have some very, very liberal voters in some of these areas. What this is telling me is probably Abugazela is probably doing significantly better with Hispanic voters. If that this is the actually, okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh wow, she's actually doing well in Lake in the Hills. Okay, so I mean there aren't many votes right now. I'm kind of surprised she's doing as well in Cary. So this is Lake in the Hills. This is Cary. That's where she's doing well. Crystal Lake have more Hispanic voters there. I was thinking Fine was going to do well. And Biss is not doing as great in this county, even though he's winning the county. He's really getting these outskirts areas, over by Randall Road. There's going to be a lot of people here, Randall Road and Algonquin Road. These are the old neighborhoods of Lake in the Hills. These are newish, sure neighborhoods. Then when you get into Crystal Lake, you have Biss there. But this is your main area. This is the main shopping center and all there. It used to be a Pizza Hut right there in the curve. Used to go with my mom to there all the time. So this is all mixed. Like you got here, one precinct, Laura Fine with 38%. Catawba with 34%. And then you got Daniel Biss with 35%. The county is all over the place. So that's interesting. which might indicate, well, we'll see what happens. It brought it down a little. It seems to made it close a little bit more. It did bring fine up. Bugazela, it didn't really change your numbers. It almost seems, and this is what I was telling you about, the way that Cat could win is if Fine and Biss are taking votes away from each other. And that's what really happened in McHenry, right? If you look over here, you see Fine at 19, Biss at 29, but then you see Fine here, much lower. Dark money is totally legal. So, yes. Okay, being oblivious that nearly $10 million of outside money came into this rate. So, what do you mean outside money? Outside money goes into every congressional race. Every congressional race. And the campaign ads against her, fair enough. I thought the AIPAC ads were fine. Not eventually for fine, right? But and you might have another one here where the winner might have under 30%, which is just ridiculous. Yeah, we already looked at the Cumberland one. So the State House one, we already looked at that one. We talked about that earlier. Both of those swings are very strongly toward the Democrats. See, and this is where I think the reason why Cat only has 25% is that's all I ever heard about. AIPAC, Gaza, AIPAC. I'm worried about gas prices, right? More people in Illinois are worried about Iran because of the gas prices than AIPAC, Gaza, AIPAC. It's just enough already. Jeez. I mean, I wish I was economically in a good position that I could worry about issues like AIPAC and Gaza instead of worrying about the issues of how to try to feed people, how to try to pay mortgages, how to try to pay for a car loan, which I actually just paid off my car loan. So I guess I don't have to worry about that. I wish I had the liberty to worry about the issues that don't affect the average American. I wish I had that liberty. Yes, that's what I'm saying is gas prices are up. Like the Iranian thing, people are not worried about the war aspect of it here. They're worried about the economic aspect of it. Okay? You're right. That has to do with Iran, not with Gaza. Gas prices weren't going up with Gaza. Okay? Yes, and I said Gaza, Gaza, Gaza. Now I can now like many conservatives want to conflate anti-Semitism and regard anti-Semitism and support for Israel. Now, why are the liberals conflating Gaza and Iran? Okay, don't be MAGA of the left. Just don't be MAGA of the left. No, I mean, if you don't like what I'm saying, yeah, I mean, we're still watching the results, but I mean, if you don't like what I'm saying, that's more of a you problem than a me problem. And see, this is again conflating the issue. So you're thinking because I'm saying this and I'm pro Israel. No, I'm very much on Gaza's side of that conflict. I'm very much against the war that's going on with Iran, right? But progressives do not understand because they're either financially fine or they're financially dependent on somebody else, that they don't have to worry about everyday issues. They have the luxury of worrying about Gaza and stuff. I wish I had that luxury. Buy pink daisies. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. I don't care. Beautiful. It's like Stratton. And see, and what's so funny is I mentioned what I mentioned. Um, what's funny is I mentioned what I just mentioned, and I saw the comments. That's exactly why I wouldn't vote for Cat. So you basically all just explained why I wouldn't vote for her. Because if you come up with a different position or have a nuanced position, then the Cat people are like, no, if you're not 100% with us, then you're a fascist Israel supporting person, even though like nobody ever said that. Again, it's the people who say, if you don't believe 100% of what I say, you're closed-minded. That's about the most closed-minded thing you can say. That's the reason why I wouldn't vote for her. Maybe you guys could win elections if you actually learn how to deal with nuance. Cat's husband owned the Onion? Oh, I didn't know that. Wonder what they're waiting for. No, 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 no. I kept that. So, no, you're not talking about the nuance of Gaza and Iran. You're making it an Israel issue and trying to conflate Gaza and Iran. I said that people in this district, go back, people don't really care about Gaza. And when they talk about Iran, they're focused on the oil prices. But what you want to do is conflate the two, right? That's what you want to do. It's kind of the opposite of Bill Maher. Bill Maher said one of the dumbest things that I ever heard. Bill Maher said, people need to be nuanced on it, but you're either with Israel or you're with the terrorists, which is the dumbest thing. It's a contradiction of himself, right? You're doing the opposite thing. Okay. And another thing, I guess I'll call it the YouTube leftists, I guess I'll call them. You always jump to conclusions as to what people think. Because they have a nuanced position, you just automatically assume they think something else. You might want to get your heads out of your ass when it comes to that, or you're going to keep losing elections. A lot of us agree with you. But because I said I didn't like the way that she just made this, Gaza, 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 you just automatically, you're pro-Israel. I am not pro-Israel. I am very much against Israel. But you can't say it because if you don't believe 100% of what you say, if you have a tiny bit of nuance, then Israeli loving fascist. Trust me, I want your views to win. Just don't be fucking stupid with it. Bill Maher shows up in the dictionary when you look for insufferable. Yeah. Yeah. No, what's happening in Gaza is no relation to what's happening in Iran. Okay? Do they have a connection with Israel? Yes, but are they the same thing? No. Okay? I mean, if I go to a dentist or I go to a heart doctor, I'm seeing a doctor to see something about my body, but they're not the same thing. And of course, you're going to say, oh, putting it in some sort of, context like that, but it makes the point. Like with Juliana Stratton, we're at a point where Jackson County came in. See, University Town, she's dominating there. That's probably going to be mostly, Jackson, Carbondale, it's mostly black voters and SIUE. I mean, not SIUE, SIU Carbondale. She's almost at 40%. That impresses the hell out of me. Raja's voting base, I assumed, was going to be the collar counties. So I was under the assumption that I did. It's funny because the county I live in here, Franklin County, is one of his strongest counties, and I voted for Stratton. I think what they were assuming is do well in northwest suburbs of of Cook County, Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates, Des Plaines, Streamwood, areas like that. Run up the totals in DuPage, McHenry, Lake County, and just kind of mitigate your losses throughout the rest of the state. I think the reason why Stratton's pathway to victory was doing well in Cook County, winning university counties, and actually doing quite well. I mean, it's not going to be a huge amount of vote, but doing quite well in some of these central Illinois counties. She didn't do as well in South Illinois or Southern Illinois. She didn't do as well in Northern Illinois. But in central Illinois, she did well. And she dominated the Metro East area. So Madison County, St. Clair County, those are pretty much the Metro East area. You do have Jersey County, but it's pretty much Madison. Madison's SIUE, Edwardsville, St. Clair County, East St. Louis, and place like that. So that was her pathway to victory. University, okay, hold on a second. I'm trying to get off there. University counties, Metro East, doing well in Cook, and hoping Raja Krishnamurthy doesn't do well in the collar counties. That's what it was. It snowed in Chicago yesterday. I wonder if the cold could have caused, no. We don't care about that. It wasn't cold yesterday. It was cold, yes, but it wasn't you're gonna not go vote cold. It was the weather was fine. Yeah, I'm glad with the results so far, I'll admit. Oh, there's Bailey. I can't stand that guy. Yeah, it's 17. Well, see, actually, yeah, so it is colder there. 17. Yeah, it's 17 in Arlington Heights, but you can deal with it. It's not Atlanta. Like or Athens. I went to Athens, Greece in December one year. No, it was November. It's like 40 degrees out and people are like wearing parkas, right? Arlington Heights, you're going to be fine at 17, right? Yes, thank you, Kevin. Thank you very much. I think that Dave is trying to say that you can hold anti-AIPAC positions. Isn't bad. What is bad is that you cannot be the only thing that your campaign's about. Yes. That's the point. That's exactly the point. Right. Yeah, I thought, Ford, it's close in this district. 69% in. I came into tonight saying that I thought that Ford was going to win. Polymarket said something else. I said that I thought Ford was going to win. The only one I'm off on is like I said, Holly Kim. I am totally off on this one. But everyone I said who I just had this gut feeling we're going to win actually are winning today. Yeah. Except Visser's here. I thought Visser's, oh, good. Visser's lost. Wow, I'm surprised Visser's got that amount. Well, we'll see. Union County might bring him up. No, here's the thing. So, next demise, I'm from Chicago, the Chicagoland area originally. Lived there. Lived in very cold climates. Did my master's degree in Montreal. Lived in Murmansk in Russia. But I also lived in Orlando for over 20 years. So I'm used to the extremes in weather. Yeah, she did have more in name ID. There we go. Yes, McHenry County has started coming in. That's it. I don't know if anything came in, but that's it. Yeah, I remember when the Bears were considering Arlington Heights. That was not that long ago. It's gonna if they move to Indiana, that's gonna piss off a lot of people. It just is. All right. So we got another winner. So unless there's some sort of miracle that happens, Juliana Stratton is going to be the U.S. Senator from the state of Illinois. She would be the second African American female senator, right? Because I think only Carol Moseley Braun has been the senator before. I don't know if anybody was like appointed in between, like Roland Burris was appointed and stuff. Awesome. And again, like Krishnamurthy, if he would have won tonight, I would have been fine with that. The main thing for me with him is Medicare for all. I think right now, I truly believe right now we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, not the light at the end of the tunnel that you're going to die, but the positive light at the end of the tunnel when it comes for Medicare for all. I think we're starting to see that. And we need those senators that are going to get up there and say, I'm for Medicare for all. That was the main reason I supported her. Her three things at the top of her website: $25 minimum wage, Medicare for all, getting corporate money out of politics. And somebody said she was a centrist online. I just wow. Another big betting market. Yep. Raja. Oh no, Juliana. Another Polymarket like fuck up, right? Because we'll see what happens here. But LaShawn Ford was not in the lead. Melissa Conyers Irving was in the lead. Melissa Bean would have been in the lead. She always has been. Daniel Biss has always been in the lead. But yeah. And Raja Krishnamurthy. Oh, wait, no data available now? Now that she's won? Oh, there's no data available? Why not? Come on. Every time Polymarket takes a hit, I friggin' love it. Is Kat winning? Thank God, no. But I am kind of wondering if and this is one of the issues. There's just so many people on the ballot. We could have somebody under 30%. We'll see. So McHenry has come in. That Lake County number will go more toward Biss and Fine. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, I don't know what's being counted here. Or, you know what? We can go here. So I don't know what percentage of Chicago has come in, but obviously in the Cook County part of the district, Daniel Biss going to do better. He's the mayor of Evanston. This was where state senate district was. Kat, I'm very surprised she did well in Cary, Lake in the Hills, parts of Crystal Lake. I was not expecting that. But that does tell me possibly doing better with some Hispanic voters. Fetterman Mansion 2028. Oh my God, that would be like if they ran as like an independent ticket, they would get like 3 votes. Like no one wants them. Like the Democrats don't want them, but the Republic, like nobody wants to hear from those two anymore. See, like I said, somebody mentioned ranked choice voting. Yeah. What do you mean, am I eating crow? I don't, I still consider Cat doing well. Well, that's good for you. Me doing well is to get a victory. Getting 25% of the vote is in, you know, that's your, if that's your measure of success, well, more power to you. Wait. Somebody said what I'm saying is giving a haha, you deserve Trump from centrist in 2024. Dude, I voted for Bernie Sanders for president 3 times. I wrote him in 2024. I voted for Juliana Stratton because she supported Medicare for all, a $25 minimum wage, and getting money out of politics. You're trying to say I'm a centrist? Really? That's what you're trying to say? This is the reason why people don't like people who are 100% or nothing. If you don't believe 100% of what you are, you're a centrist. I am far from a centrist. Again, did you vote for Bernie 3 times? Because I did. I wrote him in. I can even show you on my phone probably the me writing him in 2024. Well, Tropical, I mean, you're a member of the channel, but you know, it is what it is. No, but Tropical, here's the problem. You just don't like that I don't like your person. Okay? That's more of a you problem than a me problem. If you can't handle that I don't like your person, that's more of a you problem than a me problem. And again, back to my point, seeing how some of these cat supporters are acting, that's why a lot of us, 75% of us, even though we agree with your candidate, probably will not vote for them because it's people who have the attitudes like that. You'll never learn. You'll never learn. Make what claim all day long? So I don't know what you're saying. No, thankfully she lost. She lost to a Democrat. Okay? I mean, if she were running against a Republican, I'd go for her easily. You're treating this like you, and this is another thing. Why are people treating a primary like it's a general election? Okay? Sorry. So yeah, exactly. Fine is the only one that wouldn't have been fine, ironically. Yeah, Cat's results are both surprisingly good and surprisingly bad, depending on how you look at it. Good because their support was more broad than anyone thought. Bad because she couldn't bank on the split. Yeah, and we still don't know if she can't bank on the split. It's not 100% yet. Now it's Lake County that's sitting there dragging their heels. Yeah, she can run again. It's not the end of the world. And the ninth is solidly blue. No, she hasn't lost the ninth yet. I mean, I don't think any are. I mean, some of the. I mean, Bean's race is still not called yet. So we're still looking at some of these. I mean, hers is even closer. No, but I will say honestly, like Kat's elitism, her I know everything, and her supporters would have been the main reason I would not have voted for her. So you might want to consider that. Yeah, now we just, I mean, it's still going to be interesting. Like I said, I think one of the things is, well, I'm really, hold on a second. Nope, she's now under 40%. I really do want to see if Stratton gets over 40%. I didn't vote for her because I live in the 14th. I live in the 12th. I live in the furthest congressional district in Illinois away from her. So yeah, I couldn't. No, elitism doesn't necessarily. Elitism does not mean that you're rich. Elitism is, in my eyes, and in many people's eyes, that you think that you're better than everybody else and that your position is 100% right and everybody else is wrong. If you do not believe 100% of what we believe, then you're closed minded, which is, again, is one of the most closed minded things that you can say. And again, I like a lot of her message. Does she do I think there needs to be changes in the Democratic Party? Absolutely. I want Hakeem Jeffries gone. If you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you talk about how I'm like, how did they pick what rock did they find this guy under? Been calling for for Chuck Schumer to be gone, right? I want these people gone. But they're see here, okay. Let's look at AOC. AOC is able to talk about progressive issues, how we need to do stuff and all that without having this I'm better than you are attitude. This is what the Democrats need. Somebody like an AOC, somebody like a Bernie. Okay? And Kat was very much not that. And see, so this is the thing. This is why I think it's funny. I voted for Bernie Sanders 3 times. I voted for Juliana Stratton because of her progressive views. I say the Democratic Party is shit. Absolute shit. Even in a video saying I don't think they could lose the next election. Not that the Republicans could win it, but the Democrats could actually lose the election. I said all that stuff. I do not like Hakeem Jeffries. I do not like I do not like Chuck Schumer. I am very much for the Gaza side. I am very much against the war against Iran, but yet that's not enough for the cat people because I don't like Cat because of her elitist personality. That's the difference. I'm with you on almost every single issue, if not every single issue. But any little bit of criticism, and you get mad. You can't handle you can't handle somebody having a different point of view. That's the problem. How's a vote for Sanders a vote for Trump, considering Sanders in the 2016 polls was beating him in every single poll taken, but 2, whereas Hillary was not. So please expand. No, but I am voting on the issues. Okay. I would have voted for Daniel Biss because I think he is very much the same on a lot of the issues that are important to me. So I very much would have voted on the issues. Okay. But at the end of the day, you need to realize elections, and this is one thing that Democrats are horrible at. Elections are popularity contests. They're not issue debates. This is the reason why we have the idiot Donald Trump that we have. Until Democrats realize that this is a popularity contest, which having a YouTube influencer, which is what she was trying to do that, it backfired. Or we'll see if it backfired. Okay? Sorry. I mean, Daniel Biss is, I would say, Daniel Biss is endorsed by Elizabeth Warren. Okay. Yeah, right. I'm an Illinois voter. I can't vote for. And by the way, Bernie isn't a general election candidate anyway. I mean, Van Hollen, I think he's kind of old school establishment too. I'm not a fan of his. Who did NBC? I'm not watching NBC. I'm watching Channel 7. All I'm saying with, and you know what? And like I said, I thought she won the debate. All I'm saying is if you want people to come and support you, we're not Republicans. Republicans are pieces of shit, right? Republicans are pieces of shit. If you want people to be on your side, and Republicans don't even care if you disagree with them, honestly. They're just assholes. If you want people to come on your side and be with you, don't have this 100, don't be a 100%er. Don't have a 100% litmus test. Just don't. Allow for nuance, allow for movement, allow for differing points of views. And again, I didn't even have differing points of views, but you're mad at me because I don't like Kat because of her personality. I mean, but you're the one, instead of getting mad, maybe you should try to speak to people and try to come to some consensus. I could have been won over, but what you guys have done is you've actually turned people away. And this is why for me, I'm really starting to see a lot of the MAGA-ness. I'm starting to see a lot of the MAGA-ness inside the left. I mean, not the stupid policies, right? That's something else. But the attitudes, the 100%ers, the cult-like status amongst you must support our people 100% or you're evil. I'm starting to see that in the left, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this channel less and doing the history one more, because it's becoming intolerable. No, I'm not saying what I'm thinking. Just so you know, I'm not saying what I'm thinking you're about, but you don't like my view on her based on her attitude, okay? And a lot of this started when we were talking about Gaza and Israel. And the assumption that somehow I was pro-Israel, which I am not, that I was pro-Israel because I was talking about it a little bit differently. Let's be honest about that. I'm not voting for her because she sounds elitist is very MAGA coded. Bernie Sanders says that. AOC says that. Okay. All right. When it comes to elitism, elitism is not necessary. Elitism can be in a different way. To me, how I see elitism is when people come across as I'm better than you are, I know everything. And if you don't agree with me, then you're wrong and stupid. That's what I consider elitism. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like, okay, she went to George Washington University. I went to one of the most damn elitist schools that there are. I was like one of the most working class people there. I went to friggin' McGill University, which is known like it's a Harvard of Canada. Okay. So trust me, I've been around elitist people before and I do not like them. All right, good. I'm very happy with the results. I'm kind of surprised they have not called this. And you know what? Now, let's put it in perspective. In this primary, let's be honest, in this primary, Junaid Ahmed, that's probably who I would have voted for. In fact, it's very likely who I would have voted for. So the person who is almost identical issue for issue, right? I would have voted for him. I wouldn't vote for her. Because at the end, the way you comport yourself and all that, and the way that you do treat others as far as this elitist attitude, it matters. I mean, I'm like and for me, I'm like the biggest Mamdani supporter. I think he's doing an excellent job. Yeah, so I mean but actually, I mean, the seventh House district. That I mean, the fact that we could have someone go into Congress that is closer to 20% than 30% is insane. It's just absolutely insane. I mean, these are the only things that we really have going on now. Yeah, those Pennsylvania ones were pretty good. Let's look at the comptroller's race. This is very close as well. Yeah, see, this is probably why I thought Holly Kim was going to win. Where I live, she's just dominating every county and Lake County as well. That's probably why. I'm wondering if Stratton will get over 40%. It'll be interesting to see if that's the case. Why didn't Kamala Harris pick Senator Kelly? This goes back to what I was talking about before. Elections are personality contests. He has no personality. I like him. I like him a lot. Croak is holding the lead either way. Yes. And this is one of those situations. It's kind of like when, when Chicago started coming in, Stratton was in the lead and she never lost the lead. Same thing with Croak as well. Never lost the lead. Daniel Biss has always been in the lead all night long. I think Melissa Bean has always been in the lead. LaShawn Ford wasn't always in the lead, I don't think. Or he might have been. I'm not sure. But a lot of these people, whether it's a big or a small lead, a lot of them were in the lead most of the nights. Oh, really? The AP has called it for him? That seems like a pretty, I mean, unless the AP has different numbers, it seems like a pretty gutsy call with 30% left to count. And there's only a 3.5% gap. That's a ballsy call. Nope, Newsom would lose too. California liberal will not win nationwide. Once they get into identity politics, he's got the identity politics problem, and he has the corporatist money problem. I mean, I know a lot of you progressives out there are going to hate hearing this. That's another problem that Ro Khanna has. Ro Khanna has taken a lot of money from the tech bros. That's something that people aren't talking about. I mean, that's the thing. You can't. Oh yeah, there's Biss right now. He's talking. Awesome. Well, Tropical, so you're talking about Decision Desk. I mean, it does say that it's in beta. So maybe this is it, right? It's in beta. So I think they're still getting all the kinks and stuff worked out, trying to figure out where it should be. But yeah, I think that's it. I like Cory Booker. He has problems with health insurance companies, though. There is that problem. I mean, we need to stop talking about Jon Stewart. He's just not going to do it. We all know he's just not going to do it. Okay, so who's won? Who's won and who's winning? Okay. Julian Stratton has won the Democratic nomination for the U.S. Senate. Let's go through. I'll just go ahead and click on these. So we have Donna Miller, who's now winning Robin Kelly's seat. She defeated, I think, quite handily, Jesse Jackson Jr. In the 7th State House District, we are seeing, I want to say this is Danny Davis's old seat or current seat. LaShawn Ford is winning. Someone said the AP called it, and I think that's a gutsy move, but he's been in the lead for quite a while now. So this is good. Another big loss for Polymarket. Melissa Bean's race has not been called yet, but she's been in the lead the whole time. Her old congressional district was further north. I don't know if she ever had that's Kane County, right? I don't know if she ever had Kane County before in Elgin. So we'll see how that plays out. So most of Kane is in. Still got a good amount from Cook coming in. So we'll see. This actually could change. Let's keep an eye on this one. There's still a little bit more to go. I still think she's going to win it, though. Daniel Biss wins the 9th congressional district. And then the comptroller's race is still out. And then let's go back. We haven't checked on this race in a while. Yeah, this number hasn't stayed for a while. This was a bad swing against the Democrats. here in the Virginia State House 89 race. So that was not good. But on the flip side, there were some Pennsylvania State House races where the Republicans, I think both Republicans were under 60%. These are districts that Republicans should be winning with 70 plus percent of the vote. So that is a good swing to the Democrats. There are some states where the Democrats have been showing some impressive swings. Florida has been one of them. Pennsylvania has been one of them. Virginia was a good swing. Okay, so here's, and I don't know how much we should read into this. Virginia had a good swing during their last general election, which was 2025, right? The gubernatorial race and all that. But other swings in special elections haven't necessarily been that great. Georgia had great swings in 2025. They're not as great in 2026. Again, don't know if that really means anything, but yeah. So that's where we are. And so funny, her name's Melissa Bean, and I'll say for like a true old time Chicagolander like me, the main sculpture in Chicago is the Picasso. It's not the Bean. I don't think I've ever been to the Bean. I mean, I've seen it. I've walked by it on Michigan Avenue, but yeah, see, I mean, Jon Stewart, and people are mentioning Jon Stewart. It's like Jon Stewart is. Here's one of the problems with Democrats. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in a good way. One of the problems with Democrats is that we want to make sure that our people are smart and competent. Republicans don't care if they have the dumbest guy in the room. They have the dumbest guy in the room. Jon Stewart is smart, so that is good. But I heard people talking about what if The Rock ran, or what if this one guy from ESPN ran, the Stephen Smith guy. I thought Stephen Smith was a defenseman from the Oilers back in the 80s, but again, apparently he's a guy on. I saw that guy speak, and I'm like, really? People want this guy to run for president? I think that's when you hit peak stupid, when all of a sudden they're talking about that guy running for president. And I'm like, no. Yeah, I mean, the only one we're really waiting on, I think, is House 7 and House 8. That's it. Herschel. So, speaking of Herschel Walker, on my history channel, my history YouTube channel, and I can't change over to it right now because I can't change over to it right now because I'd sign out of this account. But on my history YouTube channel, somebody said that because I showed Herschel Walker as being a stupid candidate, they said that I was a racist. It's like, really? Oh, boy. I mean, I'm sorry. Politics is. This is one of the reasons why I'm really, really thinking about changing this channel to international politics, because American politics has just reached peak fucking stupid. It really has. No, Jerry Brown, he's not Jerry Brown 2.0. And I don't think Newsom is. Jerry Brown in 1992 wanted to have a computer. He supported universal health care. He actually supported having a computer on every desk in every school. 1992, that was a really big thing, because you'd have like one computer in the library or something, or maybe two or three. Now the kids would just look at porn on it, but I mean, it still was revolutionary ideas, I would say. So I think Brown. I mean, they called him Governor Moonbeam because he supported a lot of these, what was considered out there progressive ideas. No, 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 no. I'm talking about just you got to realize that I've been in politics since 1991. I have never heard the arguments be, and I'm not talking about tonight. Okay, I'm not talking about in the chat. I'm not talking about tonight. I'm talking about somebody like Donald Trump. I've I've never seen peak stupid before. Like, you can't talk to a Trump supporter about issues because um like, you can't. If you had to actually get your ass up out of a chair, get in a car, go to an event, do something, show up, be active, and whatever. Nowadays, just need a keyboard, right? So it's really gotten dumb. And I think I'm going to do a video soon about the I'm going to do a video soon about the French municipal elections. So honestly, to tell you the truth, I care more about those than I do about this primary. Well, not this primary. This is my state. Um, Bernie Sanders, Al Franken, I would have voted for that ticket in a heartbeat. Well, with Schwarzenegger on my History channel, I just did a whole entire video about the 2003 recall. Cat beat APAC back Laura Fine. I'm good. Right. And I want to vote for Laura Fine because of that. Right. So yeah, I am glad Laura Fine finished third. I mean, I think she's going to finish third. She still could finish second. But so we just got to see how many more votes come out of Lake County. She still could finish second. But I think it's going to be very close. Yeah, so some people thought George W. Bush was the dumbest we could get. Yes, and we just keep getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, I'll tell you, Hakeem Jeffries isn't the brightest bulb in the closet either. Okay, so you know, and this is the problem I have with Democrats is they just it's almost like they try not to win. Right? That's the thing. They try not to win. It's like, and again, I go back to 1984. Here you have the Republicans shooting patriotism, red, white, and blue out their ass in 1984. You could have picked John Glenn, an American hero, Marine, first American to orbit the Earth. You go with Walter Mondale. Democrats are shit. Sometimes they get it right. They get the Obamas. They get the Clintons. Sometimes they get it right. They usually pick a Michael fucking Dukakis. Yeah, I think it is just you, Brandon, because other people are responding to what I'm saying. So, yeah. See, somebody Stratton promised not to vote for Schumer for leader. Really? Okay, there you go. There. I mean, like for people like the cat supporters, like I'm cool with that, right? Okay, they now have Melissa Bean as the winner here. I was kind of surprised they weren't calling it yet. Michael Dukakis 2028. He's still alive, right? You could do that. Okay, like the problem with McGovern in 1972 is he wrote the rules for the nomination. So he knew the rules on how to win the nomination in 72. With the McGovern Fraser Commission report, he knew how to win. That's why he won, right? But then you did have a series of years where you just had Ted Kennedy saying, I'm not going to run, I'm not going to run, I'm not going to run. Ted Kennedy could have run in 68. He could have run in 72. He could have run in 76, right? I mean, all of those were open opportunities, especially 76. That was a total open opportunity. Ted Kennedy picked the worst election that he could have run in. The best one would have been 68 because Chappaquiddick wouldn't have happened yet. Thank you, Metal Gamer, for the super chat. I think, I mean, I'm very happy that Stratton won. Now the question is does she deliver on what she says? Right? I think that's the question. I mean, Dukakis Biden could have been the ticket in 1988, really. I mean, Nixon is my cousin, so I can even say more bad things about him. But yeah, Nixon's my cousin. So I mean, if there's any president I would want to be related to, I'm glad I'm not related to Trump, and I'm glad I'm not related to Wilson. So I think Nixon's not necessarily the worst president to be related to, but yeah. All right, so I think we're done for the night. The only one we're really waiting for is House District 7. I think this one's going to take a while. Hell, this might eventually even get into recount territory, but it's another Polymarket loss, which is great. Anytime Polymarket loses, that's I personally think that's always a good thing. Because you have people overall, you just have people that just don't know anything and put money in on vibes, right? They just like, oh, this feels good or this feels good, right? But all the except for the comptroller, I said I thought Stratton would win tonight. You know, I might have said I thought Jesse Jackson Jr. was going to win, so that one was wrong. LaShawn Ford, I said early in the night, like before the votes came in, I was like, I thought that he was going to win. Thought Melissa Bean was going to win. I thought Biss was going to win. But I'll have to say, with the last polls that came in, I mean the House 8th election, I don't think we had a recent poll. None of these are really surprises. I mean, if you're really looking for a surprise tonight, it's these Pennsylvania state House races, and the Democrats doing horrible in this Virginia race. So maybe there's more votes coming out of that, but the fact that it's 11 p.m. there and I'm not seeing any movements, my guess is that's a final number. And to me, that's worrying in Virginia. So yeah. So yeah, so we'll see. All right, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you next time. I don't even know when I'm going to do the next stream or next video. Like I said, I'm totally concentrated on doing my election history channel. That's very much my highest priority right now. But I'm going to keep on doing this channel to make sure that I do live streams. Today wasn't a busy live stream. Thought it would have been a little better, but you know, it is what it is. All right. Thank you all very much. I'll see you next time.